Yeah.
Is it a good one?
No.
Is it a stinker?
It's just happy Epiversary.
No, not even that.
Happy Epiversary.
Happy Epiversary. Happy Epiversary. Happy Epiversary. Happy
I'm going back.
Epiversary. Happy Epiversary. Happy Epiversary. Happy
Didn't we do that
Epiversary.
for the 50s?
Happy Epiversary.
I think we did.
We can't do it again?
I'm going back old school. I'm going back to what we did at episode number 1.
Oh my God. I don't think I remember that far back.
I went back to look.
Or do you mean listen?
Listen. Yes. We ready?
Whenever you are.
It's going to throw everyone off.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
But we should at least interrupt you one time before.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
It
we
would
have to
be
do
an
it after
episode
he
of
gets
Traveling
to
the
one,
Vortex.
because if you do it at
I
2,
did.
he keeps going.
I did.
Yeah,
You did
no,
one.
you did right.
I know.
Yeah. We're reinstating that fact.
I mess up a lot of things, but I didn't this time.
3.
Anybody think it's weird that we're... jump the gun. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was only one count. Come on, Sean.
I had one in my head. You said 3. I was like, that was one. That was one. Do it again.
Like he doesn't know what's coming now. Oh, wait. Go ahead.
3,
I didn't have anything there.
2.
Oh, I didn't plug in my power cord.
You might want to do that.
Yeah, I might want to do that.
Please moderate. Why?
What are you moderating?
The post I just posted. Ping back excerpt.
What?
Oh, because I included a link to the prior. One comment is waiting for approval. Really?
We have a comment waiting for approval? That must be something you posted.
No comments.
It must be spam.
What the blasted
Spam,
blue
spam,
blaze.
spam, spam, spam.
I love spam. Spam and eggs.
Spam, spam,
Ham,
spam,
ham, ham and
spam,
spam.
spam, spam,
Ham and eggs and spam?
Spam, 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 spam.
Don't know that one? Dude, seriously? You don't know the spam song from Monty Python?
Oh,
That's
okay.
too bad.
All right.
That is too bad.
I'm sorry I outed you. That's almost as big a faux pas as saying Roger Moore's gay when he isn't.
Good thing we haven't done that.
He's
Totally gay. Roger Moore, watch him kiss a girl. He's gay.
Oh, you know what I just watched tonight?
What'd you watch tonight?
Cannonball Run.
Oh, that's
Love
such a
that
fun movie.
Love that movie. I mean, I've seen it before, obviously.
Yeah, but
Not for a long time. And
According to Adrian Barbeau, not as much fun to make as it is to watch.
I'm not surprised by that.
trying to get a hold of Cannonball Run 2. You don't happen to have it, do you, on DVD?
Why?
Yeah.
It's not great, but I want to watch all 3 of them. So,
Oh, I forgot there was a third.
yeah, Speed Zone. It's not called Cannonball Run, but actually, I've never seen Speed Zone. That's why I'm watching all 3 of them. But I've heard that Speed Zone's even better than Cannonball Run 2, though.
Well, it wouldn't
Well,
take
that doesn't
much to be
take-
better than this. I mean, let's be honest. There are
Hey.
a few jokes in 2 that are like, that was funny.
The Cannonball Run and the
then it
Cannonball Run
turns into
2,
this weird...
they're guilty pleasures for me, though, because I
Cannonball
loved
Run,
them
there's
as a
nothing to be
kid.
guilty about.
No, I agree. Cannonball Run is an awesome movie. I mean, yeah, it's dumb fun, but it's totally... I won't even guilt you for liking it as a guilty pleasure.
No, we don't. Notice it's a can.
Get it? Can.
Yeah, I do. I get that one.
Really? Cannonball Run? I have to double check at home. I'm pretty sure I don't own that one.
That's not on Netflix either.
No, it was. It was for a long time. I checked Amazon Prime.
Thanks for ruining it for the rest of us. Glenn wants to watch something. Netflix gets rid of it.
No.
Hope you never want to watch Doctor
Every
Who.
time. Anyway, I can't find it online anywhere either. So.
What did I watch? I watched Brave. I watched...
I watched Goldeneye. Did you see I left that on your table?
I did. Thank you for returning that. What was the other one I watched?
I actually watched that Monday and then just didn't
But you
return
had
until
seen
Friday.
that one,
Oh
right? You
yeah,
were
it's
just
just been a really long time.
Okay. I didn't go see Skyfall today.
No, you have to wait till next payday.
That's right, because you also had family in town, didn't you?
Well, she did. They left, but we still needed to
She
wait.
did. She had not your family. Huh?
Not my family.
No, you know you're married to her.
Well, it's her extended family that she doesn't even
Well,
know.
it's still your family, though.
I guess. I met them for 5 minutes, and that was about it.
You don't have family time? No, she did. Very,
Next payday? That's not even next week.
Very
That's like a week from now.
very
I
definitive
know.
line there.
Well, I'm going without you.
All right, fine. I've got a 4-day weekend coming up. We'll go then.
What do
over
you got a
the
4-day
payday.
weekend coming up for?
Use up my vacation days. So I take the... When's our next payday? The 7th through the 10th.
Yeah.
Okay, we ready?
Tower Heist.
Tower.
I can't believe
Tower
you
Heist.
watched
I didn't know that.
I can't believe you liked that.
I liked it.
What was it?
It's that Ben Stiller
It's got
movie.
Ben Stiller.
Oh,
Ben Stiller, Eddie
yeah,
Murphy,
yeah.
Matthew Broderick. It's like Ocean's 11. There's an evil guy played by Alan Alda, of all people. He's a brokerage banker, and
'Cause that's
he
believable.
basically defrauds the tower, which is this very upscale, rich apartment complex. It's almost a hotel, and all the employees had their retirement funds, given over to this guy to manage the portfolios, and he stole the money and ran. Well, he gets busted trying to run, so then they hatch this scheme to get the money back, and tower heist. They're going to pull his heist from his penthouse up in the tower, and it's very, very, very Ocean's 11, which is weird because Casey Affleck's in it. So you're kind of getting typecast here, dude. But it was a lot of fun. I mean, it's not drop down, belly gut laughing, hysterically funny, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was. I know you have this.
Was it one that
thing
was-
with Ben Stiller?
Yeah, I'm
but
not a fan.
Was it one that you thought was not properly promoted? Or did they promote it as what it is?
It's tough to say because it wasn't quite what I thought it was going to be. I mean, it's a Brett Ratner film, so if that tells you anything, you kind of know exactly what. Okay, he directed.
X3.
You could
Well, I
blame
knew
him
that,
for X3.
No, I'm saying he directed. I enjoy X3.
I thought I was fine with it.
Rush Hour. So it's
Yeah.
kind of that level of Jackie Chan.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Chris-
Oh, I
So-
liked that.
Okay, so I mean, it's kind of that level, but it's a difficult movie to pigeonhole because it's got this huge cast. I mean, literally every time you turn around, you're going, "Oh wow, look, there's so and so." Oh well, I mean, Matthew Broderick showed up. And I was like, "Dude went gray. He's really old looking all of a sudden. What happened?" And even Eddie Murphy's not looking, and he wasn't. Eddie Murphy's kind of playing the same character he played in 48 Hours. So, but he wasn't.
Eddie
over
Murphy
the-
is kind of degraded into playing Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, well, that's kind of it. I mean, he wasn't as over the top obnoxious as he can be. But,
Well, that's a blessing.
yeah. So I mean, we enjoyed it. It was.
You know
a
who
lot
I
of
forgot
fun.
was in Goldeneye? Alan Cumming.
Yeah.
Speaking of old actors, you see and go, "Oh my God, they got old." I watched Expendables 2 this weekend.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
That was it.
Loved it.
Is it better than the first one?
I think so. I think so.
I have nothing to base that on.
But like the majority of the movie is just okay. Jean-Claude Van Damme, who didn't have as much of a role as I thought he would.
And he's not really French.
He does an okay job.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
He's from Brussels.
Je déteste Jean-Claude Van Damme.
But
I'm joking. I don't hate that guy.
he does a great job. I really enjoyed him. But most of the movie was just kind of, yeah, it's good. This is neat. This is great. Good story. Pretty decent, It's when there's this huge, one big, massive airport scene that's just makes the whole film. I mean, I came up off. I literally, it's the last 20 minutes of the film. I came up to the edge of my chair at home, and I just stayed there the whole time. It was that riveting. And it's all of them. I mean, it's all of them. It's all of them. It's like, because you see, I don't want to ruin too much, but you see Schwarzenegger pop up early on, and then he's gone. And you see Bruce Willis pop up, and then he's gone. And you see Chuck Norris pop up, and he's gone. And you think, okay, that's how they got him in the movie. It's kind of the same as the first film. Those
Which that was
guys
the big
just
problem with the
kinda
first
made
one.
Their,
Cameos.
they make up for it. Score. All I'll say. Yeah, I've had a blast. It's as unrealistic and watered down story that really it's not much to it, but who cares because they're just all kinds of action and it's all these action heroes I grew up with. So
Cool.
we haven't started this show yet.
We haven't. We've been talking like we have.
All right,
Are you ready?
That's right, because we usually would talk about that. Our what did you do this weekend?
But
Oh, we've covered that now.
we've some of that. 'Cause we still have holiday stuff to discuss.
Oh, we do.
Well, yeah.
I ate turkey.
Well,
And
as
ham
Brittany points out, some
and
people
mashed
enjoy that
potatoes
as much as the rest of the podcast.
stuffing.
I ate turkey. All right,
Did you
All
just,
right.
let's start this show.
the day is it? I think it's the day after Thanksgiving is like the number one drinking
Before.
the day before
It's the day
Thanksgiving.
before.
It's the number
The night
one
before.
drinking day.
The night
And I'm
before.
thinking, I heard that stat, and I went, "There's no way. It's got to be
really
New
is.
Year's Eve. It's got to be, 4th of July or Labor Day or barbecue or something, right?" And then I figured it out because I spent all Friday with Mel's family. And all of a sudden it clicked. You got all this pressure. You got the bird in the oven. People are coming over tomorrow. And you're like, I need a drink.
It's that, and they also account it to a lot of people come back from school. Because especially the first year college freshmen have gone away and they come back and they went to get together with friends from high school and see each other. So
It's called Wet Wednesday.
yeah, Wet Wednesday at the bars. So Wet Wednesday, Thanksgiving Thursday, or Gray Thursday, and Black Friday.
Or
I thought it was
just
Gray
Black.
Wednesday now. It's Gray Thursday
Gray Thursday.
and Cyber Monday
Yeah.
Well,
which
and
is
Small
pretty
Business
much
Saturday.
obsolete.
and Small
Yeah.
Business Saturday.
Sunday hasn't got a name yet?
Apparently not.
Let's make one up.
No, it's a day of rest. It's Day of Rest Sunday. It's actually, you know what it is? It's put up your Christmas decorations.
Yeah.
Or in our case, we did that Saturday
Yeah, we did
after
it
the family was
Saturday
gone.
as well.
And then Sunday we put away all the stuff, all the boxes.
You put it up and then you put the decorations
Yeah,
away?
I decided one day was enough. No, you drag all the boxes out, you decorate, and by the time you're done decorating, you're like, I'm going to bed. So you
I
get
still
up the
have a
next
few-
day, and then you have to put all the boxes away.
I still have a few boxes in my living room because we didn't get everything out. So there's like maybe 3 or 4 things we're still considering whether to put out or not. So
Oh man, we got the tree up and lit
I wanted to
and
go by your place
decorated,
tonight to
and I
see.
got lights hung up on the outside of
Mel's.
Mel's house, and I got
It's all at Mel's.
It's
That's
all
right,
at Mel's.
it is all at Mel's.
It's all at Mel's, and
well, I could have stopped by
the
there.
Snowy
You could
Village
have.
is out. Reorganized the
Did
living
you take
room.
the TARDIS over?
I haven't taken the TARDIS over. It's the one piece that's missing from Snowy Village. So yeah, it was a 2:30 in the morning. And we're like, okay, I'm done.
Now we've talked about the holiday too. Hey, we got it all the way. Hey, we should start this show.
Let's start the show.
3, 2, 1.
But not before interrupting you one more time. Because
Just
it
for
wouldn't
good
be
measure.
a show if we did interrupt you. Look, I got it right twice.
Give me some love. Yeah. You got to blow it up. You got to start.
Sorry, that was a Disney Channel show thing that I just did there. I should've done.
Wow.
I had to make it cool, Glenn. You had to bring it down a notch. This Disney
Hey,
reference.
all the tweens got it. all our tweens.
Because we have so many of those in the demographic. Wait, let me look it up on Google. 1.
Oh, we have that many.
Wait. Yeah. Hey, we went up.
That is the most sought after
When's your-
demographic. Maybe we should do more of those kinds of jokes. What kids say now? Rad?
No, I don't think it's rad.
It's not rad.
You know, I watch all those stupid shows with my daughter, and I just don't know what any of the name of them is.
Mel has 2 tweens, and come to think of it, I don't think I can repeat any.
She
of the
doesn't
things
have
they
any
say.
tweens.
She didn't have any tweens.
She has teens.
Oh, tween is before.
Yeah.
Tween is
You
in-
have tweens.
I have a tween.
He has
You
a
have a
tween.
tween.
Yeah, in between kid and teenager. Tween.
The 9 to 12 age is tween.
Well, that's not the sought after demographic. Who cares?
Actually, they are apparently.
No,
well,
we
they're
want the- we
Disney
want-
Channel.
we want
so-
$18.
Depending.
Huh?
You want the
No,
teen to
18
young
to,
adult.
Actually, it's
18 to
18 to
24.
that
Or
No, 18 to
18 to 42.
42, but
I'm still important.
you're relevant for a couple more years, Sean.
Not really.
Ooh.
That wouldn't.
Yeah, I'm even closer to non-relevance.
You don't count because you work in news anyway.
Well, that's
so.
true.
Give my regards to Captain Dunstall.
I still buy stuff, though, Keith.
Well, yeah.
Well, the ads are still targeting me.
It's
true.
2 more years.
Oh yeah.
You just
Or a year and a half.
the ratings period.
No,
stuff,
the
yeah.
ratings. Yeah, you don't count the ratings. I just can't participate in offering my ratings. They still target me. All right.
Let's get the
Have
show
we started the show yet?
We have not.
I keep forgetting.
3, 2, 1.
Traveling the Vortex.
Oh, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary. Pour a cheerful toast and fill it, happy anniversary. But be careful you don't spill it, happy anniversary. Oh, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary.
to the 100th episode of Traveling the Vortex. I'm Keith.
I'm Sean.
And I'm Glenn.
Did you know that it wasn't until episode 5 that we started our normal open?
Yeah, actually, now that you say that, when you did that, I thought, that's not right.
I went to old school.
Because it is. That's the way we used to start
The
the
first
show.
four, and we rotated
Crazy.
until I came up with that open. Yeah, there was a
Crazy.
week you started the show.
Check our numbers. Were they up?
I don't know.
If so, we're going back there.
Well, if so, that means it was like 3 and people were
Ever since we
finding
gave
us.
it to Keith, it all just went downhill.
from there. Took us 100 episodes to find that out.
Is this really 100?
It's 100!
Get out of here. We're the noisemakers.
We forgot
We're the
those again,
hacks.
just like we did for 50.
I had to interject them for 25. I got lazy and didn't even do it for 50.
I was making achievements.
That's true.
Sean did get achievements.
I was busy doing the photo challenge.
Oh, let's rub some salt in that wound while we're at it.
excuse.
That's going to be the next. That's going to be the next achievement on the next batch. It's your photo challenge.
What photo challenge was on this one?
Doing it was on this one.
Oh, rubbing it in. You didn't get it out every day.
Let's talk about who's not up to date with the photo challenge.
I can't believe I went 23 days.
23 days.
Every photo challenge, every day, I got it in, and then yesterday. That's
Fail.
because there's one
Fell
object
off the
that there's an
wagon.
object I'm looking for that I think my son has in his room somewhere that I want to use, and I
Yeah.
can't use it.
That's my problem. Is once again I haven't been, because I was doing all the family stuff. I haven't been with my collectibles, so I haven't taken.
And
that picture
today,
yet.
I have no excuse, but I didn't want to go out of order. So,
Well, that
so trying to
makes
find-
sense.
We still have
To be fair,
27 minutes.
Yeah, it's not going to happen because I'm not where I can find that piece of.
If we wrap this podcast really quick, you can
Okay.
go home and find it.
Well, that's going to do it for this week.
That's the gift we should give. To celebrate,
Epiversary.
to celebrate,
We'll post all your feedback
no,
online.
To celebrate our fans and how much we love you, it's a short podcast this week, 32 minutes. No, that would put us behind.
how was your guys' week?
We covered that.
We
in
covered
pre-show.
that pre-show, but let's cover that actual show. How's your holidays? Thanksgiving and Black Friday?
It's just a normal week for me. I mean, yeah, other than we went shopping, but
We had a potluck at work.
well, let me start. I did go to my parents for.
Oh, yeah,
live
you
here in
actually
town,
saw a
so I
family.
did get to see some family.
My family lives in town, and I didn't get to see
That's
family.
just it. My family lives here. My sister and her kids live here, so it was like getting together for dinner. You know, that's really all it
yeah.
was. But we had turkey and stuffing and all the trimmings and all the
that
things that I
stuff
eat about.
Glenn doesn't like.
All the things that I just don't eat. I eat 2 or 3 things, but that's about it. I know I'm abnormal.
You had
anyway,
quite a big plate at the station.
yeah,
though.
but what did I have? Turkey.
I don't know.
Mashed.
I didn't
No, I
pay
didn't
that
have mashed
attention.
potatoes. I had turkey.
You had mac and cheese. I know that.
No, I didn't eat any
You
mac and
didn't?
cheese. No,
Fail.
I don't like mac and cheese. Keith.
This is homemade. This
I
is
don't
home
like
style.
any kind of
What's
mac
wrong
and
with
cheese.
mac and
Home
cheese?
style, box, anything.
Do you
like
put the hot dogs in it?
No,
No, I
that
don't eat
ruins
mac
it.
and cheese.
Oh, that
All
makes
right.
it good.
No, this is
What
home
did I
style.
have?
This is
I had
noodles
bread.
and cheese. That's it.
I had bread. I had
Mac and
turkey.
cheese comes in a blue box, Keith.
No, it doesn't.
Yes.
What else did I have? Now, if I'm going to eat mac and cheese, that's what I want. It's kind of the box. But
Although I have to admit, Mel's been buying the generic from Walmart.
Oh no, that's
And
wrong.
well, it's actually I find it to be creamier than Kraft.
Oh, that's totally.
You know
wrong.
what's better?
I didn't think
you know
so.
what's
I was
even
totally
better?
against it. You know me, I'm a blue
You know what
box
they dump
kid.
in there?
Oh yeah,
Rat poison.
probably.
Yeah.
What's even better is the Velveeta and Rotel mac and cheese.
Oh,
That's
gosh,
good stuff.
You know what I do
what I-
like? Chili mac.
Yeah, where you make the
Love chili mac.
you get the-
Chili. Yuck.
No, so you make the mac and cheese, and you open a can of chili, and you just go.
Oh, that's
stir it up
disgusting.
in there. That is the best stuff
I
ever.
have to
And you
dump,
eat it
I dump a can of Rotel in there as well.
really, and with the chili.
Give it a little spice. Yeah, it's good.
I hadn't tried
Remove
that.
the
Yeah.
chili. and That's good.
Doesn't ruin the chili.
Remove the chili.
Remove
and-
the chili.
And it's
Oh.
good.
That's because you're
I don't
weird
like
and
chili.
don't like chili.
Chili mac. Oh,
You know the best thing is when that's all hot and you eat that right out of the pan. You don't even go get a bowl because it's a one dish kind of thing. I'm gonna have to wash this pot anyway. I'm just gonna
Ow.
eat this.
I've burned the roof of my mouth, but I don't care.
Yeah, that's the best stuff ever.
Anyway, we enjoyed family. Yeah, went over and had a dinner. Then I went to work, normal time. Then we had a potluck at work, and we all brought something. And I actually was sick on Wednesday, like the worst stomach sick I have ever been in my life. I swear I threw up the lining of my stomach.
Wow.
But it was
That's
like
kinda gross.
It was like a 24-hour thing. Then it was gone. So I'm attributing it to maybe food poisoning.
Only on this show can we walk the balance between the awesomeness of Thanksgiving and turkey and chili mac, and then turn around and hit you with, I threw up the lining of my stomach.
I was that dog sick. It was terrible.
Hope you enjoyed that visual.
But I bounced back, and then Friday night, actually, my wife, who does the Black Friday shopping, who traditionally has done it, Friday morning, because everybody opened early.
Thursday night.
Thursday night, yeah. She does it Friday morning traditionally. Thursday night, she decided to, go out and hit. Everybody's opening early. She's got to go out early, so she did.
Most places were, yeah.
We got everything we were looking for.
Except for those people at Menards at 5 a.m.
Yeah, we did, yeah. That was a wonderful bite. So
I
you line it up.
go into that.
You line it up at a hardware store.
And they ask, well, why hardware store? Well, we're rednecks.
That's what the sound bite was.
And that's the one we use.
We're rednecks.
It don't get no better than this. Cabela's don't get no better than that.
Except for Cabela's.
And what he was waiting in line for, gun safe.
Next year for Black Friday, I'm pitching my tent in front of a pawn shop. That's going to be the ultimate. Did you hear about the guys?
There was a doorbusters at, what was it, Michael's and the Christian bookstore at 2 different times. They had doorbusters.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the guys?
There's a lot of crafters.
There are.
There's
but
a lot of
the
crafters.
Christian bookstore. No offense to anybody. The Christian bookstore?
6 a.m. open for doorbusters.
Well, you want to get in there soon in case
I really want to say something, but I'm not going to.
It is Black Friday. The rapture could come at any time. Make sure you get in there early.
Yeah, the Mayans said.
Oh, best quote ever. I went to Best Buy at midnight that night. I'm in line, which I'm not an idiot. I went at midnight. Actually, I went at 2 till. I got in the line. Guess what? Went in, picked my 2 items up. I was one of the first people checked out, too. But I'm in line.
Did you get a doorbuster, or was it just a sale?
It was a doorbuster. No, I got 2 doorbusters.
Got
in line. Huh? No, they weren't big tickets, though. They weren't the big ones. They weren't like the ones that everybody was going to sell.
Was it for me?
Here's one of them right here.
The case?
iPad case.
Well, shouldn't that be wrapped under the tree?
Yeah, should be, but it's not. It's right.
That's the other thing I've noticed is all these people that go outdoor.
They tend to do it.
They buy stuff for themselves. They don't buy stuff for other people. It's not
Sarah
Christmas
bought
shopping.
like 5 or 6 Blu-rays because they were on sale.
Well, yeah.
Did she go out shopping?
Good stuff.
Yeah.
See, I should have asked you guys.
But she went out when she bought the Blu-rays on actual Friday.
Oh, okay.
Like these were the leftovers.
Yeah, day of.
She got all 3 X-Men movies for like $4 a piece.
What? On Blu-ray?
On Blu-ray. 300
Bummer.
Hellboy 2, all like $4 a piece, and then she got X-Men First Class for like $7 on
That's
Blu-ray.
awesome.
See, I wish I'd have done that. I wish I'd have done that.
Anyway,
best thing I heard in line. We're talking about the end of the world and everything. The guy says, I don't even know what I'm doing here because the world's going to end on December 21st anyway. And so another guy in line responds and says, well, then buy it all, put it on your credit card. That's the best piece of advice. If, in fact, the world does end. Guy might be sorry on the 22nd, but...
23rd, isn't it?
December 21st, 2012.
It's 21st, okay.
That's awesome.
It's 122112.
Did you hear about the?
I'm going to remember
the guys. I don't think it was here because you guys would have never done a story on this. Apparently, guys went out like to Target, and this guy put on a red shirt and tan pants and made up a name badge and went in and started bossing people around and telling the doorbusters over here, you need to go to this quarter, and started talking to the employees, and they just looked at him and went okay, and started doing all this stuff, and he had a camera crew with him. Huh? And they got all of this on film, apparently, of this guy just totally ruining these people because they all went to the wrong place looking for, And apparently they went to Best Buy, they went to Walmart, they just hit everybody all night long. That's what these guys did.
Nice.
Yeah.
Clever. I love it.
It was awesome. If there are any of you out there that are Black Friday shopping and were suckered in by one of these con men, shame on you.
Have we started the show yet?
We have started the show. Sean, how was your holidays?
It was good.
You didn't work.
I didn't work. Thanks for bringing
Sorry.
that up.
You didn't have school. You didn't have school.
I didn't have school. I took a break from school.
Hey, Sean, did you get a holiday off finally?
I did. Right. It was kind of nice.
Lucky you.
Hey,
just rub that in.
16 years in video stores. I can't say I feel sorry for you guys. because I worked Thanksgiving, I worked Christmas, I worked New
Oh,
Year's,
yeah.
I worked
I think
Easter,
I worked in video stores for 4 years
Yeah.
before I worked in TV, so I haven't had a Thanksgiving off that long.
And you and everyone else sharing the badge of I'm not going to shop and protest to the retail workers.
You didn't watch TV either, though, right?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
You
You
didn't
didn't
set
use
your
your
house fire.
electricity, or
I responded to that.
and you didn't use
And
your water.
just as a matter of fact, I looked it up.
You didn't use
I went
water?
to multiple sites, and everybody agrees that if, like,
I'm glad you didn't have a heart attack, because he would have said, "Oh, I'm not going to the hospital. I don't want those guys to have to work."
if something catastrophic were happening and people just didn't show up to the power plant, we'd be fine for a couple of days.
For a couple of
I
days.
saw that, yes.
But that's catastrophic. That's
Yeah,
not
but-
give them Thanksgiving Day off.
Well, give them Thanksgiving Day off. We're fine for a day.
Okay.
That is my point.
What about the firefighters?
Yep, turkey fires. No, sorry. You can't backpedal on that.
No,
it's all or
you're-
nothing.
no.
If you had a fire on your deck because you burned your turkey and you caught your turkey on fire,
confusing.
then
Have
you
have you
need
seen
to-
William
then you
Shatner's
need to
remix?
Not call.
You are confusing
call the fire
public
department.
servants, which I am totally in awe and support of, because they have a tough,
We're not public
thankless
servants.
job
Public
as
servants.
is. We didn't work on Thanksgiving either.
Yes, I did.
Well, you're talking news, not podcasters.
No,
you
I'm-
say we. You're talking
we,
you two, not
us
we
two,
as in us
yes.
three. Okay,
He and I.
but you're confusing public servants with retail shopping.
Here, but here's the other thing.
I'm
is-
sorry, retail.
I'm sorry.
Your hospital workers, power and light, water.
They all choose those jobs.
They choose those jobs,
and so do people that work in
but,
retail.
and I admit that yes,
They know the hell
warn
that
you
they're
in
getting
advance.
into
You're
for
going
the
to be late
frankly,
these
if
days.
it wasn't all those people lining up and coming when they opened up earlier, you wouldn't have to worry about all that. But the problem is, you got the people that are
It's a vicious
consumerists, and they want to be there shopping for their
Yes,
stuff,
and who
so
made
they
the-
continue
but-
to open the doors earlier.
But who
earlier
makes
and
the
open them on
decision to
Thursdays.
open those doors? You think that the retail people who selected to work that job decided, hey, you know what we should do? We should open an additional 12 hours early and be open Thanksgiving evening so that you can't celebrate
No,
with your
it's the
family.
corporate-
No, it's the
it's
corporate
a- it's a
fat
great
cat who
corporate
did
guys.
not work that job.
But these
So yes,
workers
I
are also
support-
getting
not
holiday
only-
pay.
Not only did
they
I
are.
not shop, I didn't leave my house on Thanksgiving. Or Black Friday, for that matter.
Listen, I look at it this way: the Pilgrims and the Indians, they had work on Thanksgiving stuff.
That's true.
Did you see? God, who was it that shared that? Was it Will? He shared it on Clontarf. He sent a photo from King of the Hill, and it was who's the redneck? Dale.
All of them.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know,
You're gonna have to be more
the
specific.
bug exterminator, the really bad
That's
one.
Dale. Yeah.
He's talking to his neighbor.
Is he the
the
one that
Indian-
looks like this?
that's
No,
Boomhauer.
that's
Oh, okay.
Boomhauer. Dale's talking to his Indian neighbor, and he says, "Do your people even celebrate Thanksgiving?" And the Indian looks and goes, "We did once." I have to probably apologize to another ethnic group, don't I?
Yes.
I'm sorry. It was
You
funny.
want to tackle that other one while you're
Yeah,
at
I
it?
just say you brought it up. You want to shoot one out there and apologize for that one too?
It has been brought to my attention that there may have been a few individuals who might have misconstrued an article that was posted on Black Friday on our website, in which I thought it would be clever to rename Friday Night Who Black Friday Night Who, because it was Black Friday.
Unfortunately,
Not realizing that we watched an episode, Smith and Jones, that features a black companion in Free Magman.
The first.
I'm still pronouncing it wrong.
Adjuman.
And so, if anybody happened, we haven't gotten any feedback on that, but if anybody happened
think I was
to,
the only one that
you were
noticed
the
it.
one
I
that pointed
noticed
out.
it. I just didn't say anything.
If you happen to have been offended by that, I deeply apologize. It was not intentional, and I'm not taking it down, but
All posts and comments on Traveling the Vortex that are attributed to Sean are those the opinion of Sean himself.
it was not racially directed. It was commercially directed. So there's that.
Fair enough. Were you hoping on Friday night who would get out of the red?
Ba-dum-bum. I did,
Because that's where that's where Black Friday comes from.
I pimped this one hardcore because I hit not only
we had a good turnout.
we did well. I hit not only our website.
Minus 2 hosts.
It's a good thing I was there, but we had a good turnout.
I still showed up and watched it. I was just an hour late.
Wow,
an hour late, and the episode's only 45 minutes.
You go back and look at my
Brittany
Twitter
was
feed.
watching Shakespeare Code.
You go back and look at my Twitter feed. I tweeted along to it at 1 o'clock.
Well, I should have joined you because I was finished with
See?
family by then. All had gone to bed.
In fact, I even hashtag everything Friday Night Who, Smith and Jones, rewatch. And everybody said the same thing. Everybody said, it might be time to go back and watch the new series
the whole
again.
series.
Because there's a lot of this I forgot. And Mel said that when we were watching. She's like, man, I don't remember this. It's it's time to watch them again.
And I especially want to go back for all the Saxon references. Now
Right
knowing
there.
what that is.
Episode 1, man.
Well, and according to somebody else on Twitter, it was before that. In Rose, there was a Saxon reference.
No, I don't think so.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
I think you're full of it.
Really?
I'm just going off of what somebody tweeted.
I think you're full of it. No,
I figure they have
that's
more
wrong.
knowledge than I do.
I think that's wrong. We'll look it up.
We'll look it up.
Not right now.
Let me
No,
find
no.
it.
Anyway, so Friday Night Who was a success.
It was a success.
And Sean has pissed off 2 ethnicities. Moving on. Have we started the show yet?
We have started
Okay.
the show. News.
I've upset 2 ethnic groups before news. I'm on a roll tonight.
Let's see how many more we can get. First bit of news is some somber news.
Somber and sad.
Why you got to do the 10 o'clock newscast version of this? Why you got to lead off with this?
We're going to end with the kicker.
We're going to end. Yeah, that's true. See? It is a 10 o'clock news.
And join us tomorrow after you've had your coffee.
Dinah Sheridan passed away on Sunday.
Keith, tell us who that is.
Dinah
You're making me laugh for it. It's not even cool.
What?
It's a somber moment.
It is
You're
a
making
somber
me giggle.
moment, but I just wanted
was
to
92 and died
Whoa,
peacefully
whoa,
in
whoa,
her
whoa,
home.
whoa, whoa! She was 92.
Yeah.
Well, that's sad, but I mean, you got to prepare for 92.
Well, yeah. She played Time Lady Chancellor Flavia in The Five Doctors. She also co-starred with Bernard Cribbins in The Railway Children.
The what?
The Railway Children?
Oh, what's that about?
I don't know.
Well, why are you bringing it up?
Because it's Bernard Cribbins.
Oh.
It's Wilf.
Oh, Will. Yeah. Yeah. I just remember UK listeners might know what that is.
Yeah.
Is that
yes.
a movie?
It's a TV show.
He doesn't know.
No, on the big screen. Yes, it is a movie.
Oh. Sticking your tongue out at me.
I'm going to get you.
No,
beer
really, we're
spewing
sad.
out your nose.
She
Of course.
died peacefully at home, surrounded by her family.
Well, that's
so
good.
Yeah.
at least there was that.
Thoughts, prayers, meditations go out to her family.
I just feel bad because Chancellor Flavia was, she was one of the good ones. Yeah, it was the one bit and the
Did
one
they,
part.
did they regenerate her
I think they did.
in Big Finish?
Yes.
Okay.
She's played by a different actor.
That's what
Yeah.
I thought. Okay. Because I recognized the name, and then I saw Five Doctor, and I was like, oh, yeah, okay.
Because I thought it
And
was the
then-
same actress, and I think I went and looked it up, or I tweeted something about it, and somebody said, no, that's
Well,
a different,
she was in Arc of Infinity too, wasn't she? The character, not the actress. Wasn't Flavia in that, or maybe not? Which one came first? Was it Arc of Infinity or Five
Five
Doctors?
Doctors would have came first, wouldn't it?
Yeah, Five Doctors was first.
Maybe she's not in that one then, because
Love and Monsters.
or maybe she's referenced.
No. Arc was first because Tegan returns, and Nisa's still in that one.
But Nisa's not in Five Doctors,
Right.
Right.
So Five
But
Doctors
Turtle
is
is.
after.
Yeah,
Arc
so
of-
Five Doctors after. I think she was in Arc of Infinity too. At least the character, maybe not the same actress. But
Wasn't the same actress.
I don't know. Flavia was just one of those cool characters because Flavia, for me, she's one of those that really, she could have been yet another corrupt, evil Time Lord, and she wasn't. She kind of always struck me as one of the ones that.
And that's not Flavia in Trial of the Time Lord, right?
It's been so long. I don't.
I don't think it is. I think it's a different.
That's on the distant horizon. If I
Yeah.
ever lose the weight. Okay.
Put him on a water diet.
Going
It'll be
back
the
real
last
quick.
thing we review. you know what's done me in? I've been blaming Sarah and the cookies. You know what's done me in this month? McRib's back.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
That would do it.
I've got to stop by there a couple times. Got one of those.
I've got to deal with
After
the
I've already
lady
eaten dinner.
down on
After
Boulevard. I gave her a stack of dollar bills, and I
That's what
said,
sucks
if
about having
any
a
of these
McDonald's
people,
on the way home from work.
if any of these people are stupid enough to order the McRib meal and not take advantage of that second one for $1, you just dip into the envelope here and you buy it. You hold it for me, and I'll come and pick them up at the end of the week.
Ooh, I bet they taste bad.
No,
going back to
It's a McRib. What can you do to it? I mean, really?
Going back to the
Ribs and
Saxon
Twinkies,
reference.
They will last through
After the Mayan apocalypse and the world has ended, the cockroaches, there won't be Twinkies because they're gone, but they'll still have McRibs.
After the Mayan apocalypse next month, in a little more than a month now, you go to, after if you make
A
it,
little less than.
you go to that McDonald's. They should have a whole bunch of them set beside for you.
Ooh, yeah.
You've already paid for them.
I've already paid for them. Why would I care?
If they were paid for or not.
I should have taken advantage of the credit card thing and been dead up to my eyeballs because
I've told you this before, but where I came from, in Southwest Kansas, in Liberal.
I understand there's breakdancing.
Yeah, there was. No, that was in Guyman, Oklahoma. In Liberal, on the menu at McDonald's year round, not seasonally,
Yeah, I know.
was
Rub
the
it in.
McRib. Was the McRib.
I think if I were to ever
You think
commit
it's still year-round out
I
there?
don't know.
If I were to
I haven't
ever-
been back there in 18 years.
if I were to ever commit a heinous crime and be locked away and going to be executed, I would think for my last meal, I would want a McRib and a basket of breadsticks from Fazoli's. I think that would probably do me.
Not wow.
Maybe some wow.
Maybe some wow.
I'll put together a list.
Maybe.
I'll put together because just in case,
Yeah, well, I mean, that's one of those
I'm
things.
going to do something heinous.
Commit a heinous crime and better make a
Be
list.
prepared. It's the Boy Scout motto.
If you're going to do it on December 20th.
Oh, good call. But then I won't get my last meal. I'll be locked in a cell and everybody will have died, and I'll be sitting there going, "What happened?"
Do it on the 21st then.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
They still
for
won't get his
arraignment.
last.
He won't get his last meal, but he won't get arrested.
Yeah, that's true. All right.
And the wheels are turning. How can I turn this to my advantage?
How have we gone from
Going back,
Sheraton
real quick,
dying to
Michelle
Sean
says that
committing a heinous
the
crime?
first Saxon reference was in Love and Monsters.
It's not.
I don't remember.
All right.
But
Are you going to call Michelle out on that?
Yeah, sorry, Michelle. I don't
Bet-
think it's true. It might be, but I don't
you
think
better,
it's true.
you better
I
bring
don't think it's
proof.
true.
Michelle, do your research. Get back
No,
with us next
Michelle
week.
has to bring the proof. The burden of proof is on her. She's
Oh, is
the one
that,
that
is
said
that the
it's
way we're
there.
operating
Yeah.
this?
No.
You know what? Gravity's not real. I defy somebody to bring me proof of that. Until they do, I'm right.
Hey, no, that's a glass.
I'm just going to drop it and prove it to him.
What does that prove?
Oh,
A cookie.
cookies into his keyboard.
I missed the keyboard.
What's next on news, Keith?
Next up, story,
Here is a Muppet News Flash.
story number 8. The Reign of Terror is finally announced. We heard that they were going to be animating it, and they did. But now we have a release date.
We heard they were going to animate it, and they did. So they came through with that promise.
And now we have a release date. February 12th is when that will hit DVD.
Are you sure they've animated it?
Yes. 4 and 5.
I won't believe it until I see it.
Can we do a live newscast?
Why?
Well, we'll do a recorded version of a live newscast.
Okay.
Just because I'd like to be able to. And now, Keith, this just in. We heard this was going to happen, and it did. I think that would be the most entertaining news. I'd watch that news, actually. You still let off with the dead person, but, you know.
I gotta bring the listener back up. You start down here and then bring them back up happy. You don't end with a dead person.
Yeah, because, you know,
know.
after a hard day of not working, I like to be trampled while I'm down. You know?
Reign of Terror, we're excited to see that. Now, we
February
did, we
12th.
did determine
Right?
February 12th.
that that will come out around the same time as
That'll come out the Tuesday before.
Gallifrey.
Tuesday of
Galley.
Gallifrey.
So we may not be doing that for Friday night without me.
We might have to wait a week on that one.
Have you
Speaking
figured out
of
what we're doing
Gallifrey,
that week? Have you figured out what we're doing what I'm doing that week for Friday Night?
Not
Live?
yet.
speaking of Gallifrey,
I was kind of waiting for this
segue
announcement.
Here. Segue here. Insert segue here.
Segways. We don't do that here.
This is a Muppet News for. Sorry.
Hi, Holcomb D. Frog on the street.
This coming in 2 days ago.
Now a commentary from Sam the Eagle. You all suck. I was waiting for this announcement, actually, to decide what maybe should go on the schedule, because they said we're going to have a classic Doctor at
Gallifrey.
at Gallifrey 1. And so I thought, well, I'll wait and find out who's going to be, and we can plan the schedule accordingly. And they've announced it. At least, kind of. This broke yesterday.
mean, kind of?
Well, it's not on their site yet. It is on their Facebook page.
I don't understand this whole.
It's weird that it's
break
not on their
stuff
site.
on their Facebook page
Yeah.
and not put it on their website. They did that with the fact that Jacoby wasn't coming as well,
Which
Is
still
that,
isn't on, and it's
yeah,
still
and
on
that's
our
not
website.
on there.
Maybe their webmaster quit.
I wonder if that's a paid position.
Sean needs a job.
Yo! I'll keep you up to date. It's on our website. Actually, it's not on our website. It's on our Facebook page, too, come to think of it.
Where Sean tends to break all our news.
And I was
where
right,
most people see
too.
it.
You want to play that card? When did Doctor Who come out? Season 7? Yeah!
If this was a clip show, I'd refuse to play that one.
That's a good thing it's not.
Let's go to the tape. Gallifrey One. I'm reading now. There's a quote. Gallifrey One is delighted to announce the confirmation of Sylvester McCoy, the Seventh Doctor, and soon to be seen as Radagast the Brown in the new Hobbit film trilogy, in a special guest appearance sponsored by Alien Entertainment / Chicago TARDIS. And a first-ever visit to Los Angeles by Michael Jaston, best known as the Valeyard from Trial of the Time Lord, both appearing at our February convention. Full details soon. So you know what that means? We can't
say it.
And I was right.
Yes, Keith was right.
Keith was right.
He did call that Sylvester McCoy would be there and the Valeyard.
I didn't
just
call the
Sylvester
Valeyard.
McCoy.
I don't even know who the Valeyard is.
Which is why
We
we
do.
can't say it.
I assume by your reactions that it's a big role.
Yeah?
Stop eating cookies.
Quit throwing them at my computer. You and your physics.
You and your weight loss programs.
When I lose 30 pounds, I'll go buy that box set. That's my goal.
At this
I've
rate,
lost.
I might just go buy the box set so we can review it.
I've lost. You will
Well,
be.
then Sean will blow up like Jabba the Hutt because
No, I've actually.
he'll have no motivation.
I've been off pop and for
Yeah, by the way,
the whole
that's-
month
that's cool.
so far. 20,
Congratulations.
Thank
How's
you.
the NaNoWriMo
25 days.
going?
Yeah, how's the book going?
How's the book going?
It's going slowly. You have to average something like 1,600 words a day, which really
Yeah.
is not bad if you have the time to do it. I'm averaging probably 130.
How's the beard coming from Movember?
I never.
You didn't.
I wasn't doing that.
Oh, I thought that.
No.
you
I'm gonna
finally
call fail on that one.
I thought he finally got some stubble out there.
I got stubble now. I shaved.
I mean, it's taken since November 1st.
No.
Wait.
Hey.
I think I see
I've
some peach
shaved
fuzz.
3 times since November 1st.
I shaved this morning.
I can't say anything. I don't grow hair that fast either.
I thought about doing it, and then I decided, well, 2 days in, nope, I'm going to shave.
As with so many days, I thought
I
about
shave
it and then
every.
decided not to.
I only shave on the weekends. One day on the weekends, and that's it.
All right.
He's working on a staycation beard.
Where we at?
So yeah, Sylvester McCoy at Chicago. Or at well, he's also at
He's
Chicago.
at Chicago TARDIS.
Speaking of Chicago TARDIS,
Guess what's happening? Not anymore.
well, this weekend
Over. It happened
over now,
over
but
the
it
weekend.
Guess what
this
happened
weekend.
to this weekend?
And guess who got to go to Chicago TARDIS?
Not us.
Not me.
I didn't get a phone call Wednesday night after
Yeah,
the Powerball
no
picks,
Powerball.
so I figured we weren't going.
But the
I
guy
hit
who
5 of the
lives
numbers,
in
but I didn't
Illinois.
get the wait a minute, I hit 5 of the numbers. Hang on, I'll be back.
We have a little traveling music while Glenn runs to the.
Check my ticket. No.
Go check it.
No.
I want to see these numbers.
No, I didn't hit it.
I want to know if I need to
didn't
go
get-
look for a job tomorrow or not.
I didn't even get 5 numbers, which would have been a pretty good payout too. But
Did anybody win? Does anybody know?
I don't know. No, because I bought a ticket on Saturday and it didn't win either. But I don't know about Saturdays. But they didn't win Wednesday.
You
so
know
it
what we
carried
should
over
do?
to Saturday.
We should have a Traveling the Vortex pool. We should get everybody to pool their money, and we'll send it to Brenda because she's won an award. So therefore,
That
she's lucky.
qualifies her to win the
Yeah.
lottery.
She obviously didn't win that for talent. I mean, come on.
Oh!
Kidding.
You better watch
Wow.
out. She's a grumpy bear this week, apparently.
Yeah, well, she's sick. She'll have to come after me.
Statements and comments made by Sean not necessarily that of Traveling Vortex.
I'm kidding,
And
Brenda.
now we've offended musicians.
All right.
If I really felt that way, would I then turn around and send this woman all of our money?
Good point.
Go invest it. I mean, come on.
Dr. Phil had a chance to go to Chicago TARDIS this weekend,
Yes.
and he turns in this report.
Hey, Dr. Phil here, on the road, big surprise, on my way to Chicago TARDIS. It's Friday, and this is not actually my day to be at the con, and happy Doctor Who Day, by the way, for many of you who will be hearing this later, belated, because I'm only there today for the midday podcasters panel, but I'll be there all day on Saturday, from beginning until the end of the evening, and then on Sunday for our Well-Tempered Schism performance of music from and about Doctor Who, which will have the lighthearted stuff will be things that were written by the Oodcast, some things by John Barrowman. The things that I'm, of course, most interested in are the actual music from the show. So we're doing Andrew Edwards, who wrote music for the companion chronicle The Wanderer for Big Finish. He's going to be playing keyboards. Netta Bjorling will be playing harps, and I'll be playing viol and double bass for it. And what's really neat is Andrew did several of the arrangements, including one I was looking forward to most, which is going to be doing music from City of Death. And you can imagine that having it been just Dudley Simpson's 90th birthday in October, that's a very meaningful place in my heart of hearts anyway. But throughout the weekend, as much as I can, I'll try to report in, record some little bitty thoughts like this on my cell phone, as well as trying to see if I can grab a couple of bumpers and those sorts of things throughout the weekend if I can. We'll do my best. And all the best to you guys, and looking forward to more. Take care. It's back soon. Hey, Dr. Phil here with the Friday report continuing. Just left the podcasters panel an hour later than I intended to, because I got chatting with Michelle from the Doctor Who podcast and Mary Lang from the 20 Megabyte Doctor Who podcast. And to be honest, I didn't really want to leave chatting with them, but I needed to get home for holiday related stuff. But I'll be back tomorrow and I'll record more. But it was quite an interesting lineup. You had Len from the SF Squeakcast. Of course, you had Stephen Shapansky of Radio Free Skaro. Ken Deep, of course, was not able to make it because he had a heart attack a few days back, so he's recovering at home. Chip was kind of acting as moderator. Michelle was on the panel with me, and Eric of the Doctor Who Book Club podcast did a great job of asking some very, very important and smart questions. And so, nonetheless, it was really kind of exciting and fun, and I can't wait to go back tomorrow. So anyway, I will report in tomorrow on Saturday. Bye-bye, folks. Chicago TARDIS, Day 2, Dr. Phil reporting in again and knocking things off of my car seat next to me, as I seem to do. But anyway, I am just departing to head back to Chicago TARDIS, packing up at least all the gear I need for Sunday except instruments in my car, keeping them surprisingly well hidden. But anyway, today should be exciting because I think Mark Ayers just arrived last night. I'm going to see him at midday panel, hopefully then buy him a drink afterwards, because I've been dying to meet him in person. And anyway, I know I'll be taking my picture with him. See, everyone will be going to have their celebrities they want to get pictures with, but Mark Ayers is one of mine. So anyway, looking forward. There'll be a bit of a podcest I think we're doing after Toby Haydock's sequel to Moths Ate My Doctor Who Scarf that he has this evening. I believe it's my stepson stole my sonic screwdriver. So that should be very fun, and I really enjoyed Moths very much. So anyway, it definitely is a good story for those of us that did grow up during the wilderness years without Who and really missed it then and are very happy it's back now. But today is the big day at the convention, because last year Friday was kind of light, Sunday was kind of light, but Saturday is when everyone shows up. So I'm going to get there early with bagels and coffee and extra coffee. So it should be quite exciting. I'll try to get some pictures and get some more little audio thoughts like these, and hopefully you can use whatever is useful. So take care, guys. More soon. Bye-bye. It's Saturday night. Dr. Phil reporting back in again. Saw Simon Fisher Becker today, and I have to say that I made sure to walk up to him and say, sorry to bother you, Mr. Fisher Becker. I just wanted to come and say hello and some warm greetings from some friends you have at Traveling the Vortex. And he goes, oh, what lovely people. And he said some very nice things to you. And I'm sorry with it being 12:19 at night. Those things are not coming to mind at the moment, but he was very charming and was sending you guys very warm regards from the con. I would say it was really neat today because I was here for the duration, except for I'm not a karaoke person, which cyber karaoke ends the day, and I could cyber do without karaoke any time of the day. But nonetheless, I guess someone walked up to us going, he was a bit drunk after the Toby Haydock show, going, hey, I'm the doctor's son, and very, very smashed. And I actually believe it might have been Sylvester McCoy's son, but it was kind of hilarious. But anyway, nonetheless, it was a very interesting evening. Talked to Nick Briggs for a second at the Cash Bar, because I was actually sitting by Mary from the 20 Megawatt Doctor podcast, sitting in a quick little bit for their show. One thing that was neat, Toby Haydock's show, which is my stepson stole my sonic screwdriver, was equally as good as Maud's Ate My Doctor Who scarf, but it was very different, a bit darker, because of how his life has changed since Moths, but extremely amazing, and I think, definitely laughing away the tears on that one. Very touching and autobiographical, and the sort of personal memoir connected to Doctor Who. And for this story, as opposed to the first one being lots of Ambassadors of Death, there's a hilariously strange connection to Meglos with this one, which was great, because I love Series 18. But I kind of did a lot of following around Mark Ayers during the day, because I got there early, and the first autograph section or photograph session with Sylvester McCoy and Sophie Aldred was at 10, and so because I was way back in the virtual queue, because they have a really neat line system similar to Galley, from what I understand. That I popped over and said hi to Mark Ayers in the dealer's room where he was signing autographs, and I have to say, what a lovely individual. It's like, hi, how are you doing? And he just leapt up, and big hug, and reminds me that I have a couple interviews with him I still need to edit. Anyway, but Sophie Aldred and Sylvester McCoy were quite lovely people. I did, when I finally, because I ran into Sylvester McCoy for a minute before the autograph sessions, because he was kind of wandering towards the dealer's room, and I said, like a blubbing idiot, thank you for Death Comes to Time. It was a very favorite, audio of mine and such. So, but when I got in there, because he was walking around with this interesting cane, I go, so is that cane, like, you pull a sword out of it like in A Clockwork Orange? And he looks at me and he goes, yes. And I'm like, I almost broke into maniacal laughter. It was pretty awesome. But ran into Andrew Cartmel in the halls of Chicago TARDIS, and because I'd asked a question in a panel with Mark Ayers, Sophie, Sylvester, and him, and was really grateful to just get to meet him, and got a few pictures, which I'll hopefully get up on Facebook soon. Nonetheless, also went to the DVD panel where Toby Haydock and Mark Ayers were chatting about the DVD range. That when they recently did Spearhead from Space, they actually mastered the audio for Blu-ray, so the audio is going to be the same as the most recent special edition release. And asking about the Shada release, Mark Ayers dispelled some rumors that Dudley Simpson recorded any music for Shada, because he would have had to have had an edited episode, which he did not have for Shada. And Mark is quite knowledgeable on the subject, well beyond me, believe it or not. But I found that very fascinating, and the likelihood of there being many more releases or better releases of episodes that exist is highly likely, considering some of the things going on within 2 Entertain. So the fact that the DVD range might not end at the 50th anniversary is kind of exciting, because I know certain stories, I'm like looking forward to the Ark in Space Special Edition next year, because that's a favorite of mine. But Mark was great to make some very diplomatic comments about the Ian Levine Shada at the panel, and with mentioning really a lot of the rights issues that really prevent it from being released, which is a shame. But considering how things are commissioned through 2 Entertain, it makes sense that it probably prevented other things that could have come out, like Mark Ayers wanting to do, I think he had a pitch that he'd mentioned where they would have had another story framing the existing footage to kind of tell two stories, with Shada being a part of it. But anyway, that's probably neither here nor there. But music panel was really neat. The fact that he mentioned that he didn't get to do a music pitch for the new Doctor Who that he was, I believe, was going to, and that he's had so minimally involvement in classic series sound effects being used in the new series, which is kind of disappointing, because you'd think that they would want to have more of that than they've even had even the most recent series, believe it or not. But other highlights from the day, life-size, Daleks, K9. There was a dog dressed in a K9 costume with a little box on its back that did John Leeson lines. That was kind of hilarious. There was this weird Dalek-controlled turtle that dragged little toy Daleks behind it. There was a live turtle that walked around the con. That was very strange. Dealer's room was in a different place than in past years, so it was huge. And I broke down and bought Dark Eyes, but you probably don't need to know my buying habits. But it was really exciting. The podcasters panel was a lot of fun. It was Steven Shapansky, Ray Friscaro, Lynn Thomas of the Sci-Fi Squeakcast. That was also has Paul Cornell on it. Also, I'm blanking. Chip from the 2 Minute Time Lord was sitting center. Michelle from the Doctor Who podcast replaced Ken Deep, who suffered a heart attack last week, so he wasn't able to make Chicago TARDIS. But looking forward to tomorrow when we do our Well-Tempered Schism performance, and if everything goes well, Toby Haydock will be reading the prologue from Death Comes to Time, as with the harp music that's from Death Comes to Time. So that should be a lot of fun, and hopefully there'll be video and audio of that on the internet at some point soon. I have a feeling I'll be the one having to edit that, but nonetheless, this is my report for Chicago TARDIS. Oh, yes! One thing that was mentioned, this might be a bit of a scoop for you guys. I know I mentioned it for the 20 Megabyte cast too, but at the DVD panel, one thing that was mentioned is they've been kind of secretive about Terror of the Zygons. And one thing that is exceptionally cool is a few years, or some point in the past, they received audio elements from the daily rushes from the exterior filming for Terror of the Zygons, which included a sequence which the TARDIS materializes invisible, with the Doctor, Harry, and Sarah walking out of it. Later, they were able to get black and white footage of the sequence, because I guess they'd done it split screen but in camera. So they did one half of the shot and then they did the other half of the shot, but the problem was that it was an hour later and the light had changed. So they went back in and colorized the sequence from the black and white footage they got. And on the DVD, they're going to have an extended director's cut that has this missing scene at the beginning of Terror of the Zygons, which is extremely exciting because I'm a big Zygons fan, and Tom Baker from that era, some of my favorite stories growing up. So that's, hopefully that might be news from Chicago TARDIS. Nonetheless, just thought I would mention that, since I might be a scoop that might not appear on very many podcasts. Nonetheless, reporting in from Saturday night, or now Sunday morning at 12:30 in the morning, and we'll hopefully send in another little audio bit soon. Bye-bye. Alrighty, I didn't have a chance to record a segment driving into Chicago TARDIS this morning because I was up really late last night, but I'm on my way home from the morning's activities. The Big Finish was doing a panel when I departed after our concert this morning, but it was really neat to have Toby Haydock read the prologue to Death Comes to Time with accompanying Annetta playing the harp music from Death Comes to Time, so that was pretty bloody cool. Anyway, it was a really good con. I mean, I can't wait to see the pictures from the end of everything, but I have to say I enjoyed it much more than last year. Probably I was up there more than I was last year, so that probably also is part of the effect. Sunday's always light and lighter audience and everything, but I have to say what an appreciative audience for the concert. It was was a lot of fun, and I was rather intimidated because, City of Death is one of my favorite scores of all time, and we did I Am the Doctor, we did several of the different themes from New Series Who, but anyway, hope everything's going well for you guys, and by the way, belated 100th episode for you guys. I hope that you guys have 100 more times 100. So don't do the math on that. It'll probably be when everyone's heads are in boxes like Dorium's. But nonetheless, keep up the great work, guys, and talk to you more soon.
Thank you, Dr. Phil, as always, and our roving reporter on the streets of Chicago and in the convention halls. And
I'm so jealous that I'm not there at Chicago TARDIS.
No, it sounds so cool.
I saw his tweet earlier that he just bumped into Sylvester McCoy.
Apparently bumped into his son, too.
Yeah. And I'm glad you were able to give us a shout-out to a friend of the show, Simon Fisher-Becker.
That's right.
Yes. And how awesome the news from the
Zygons.
The DVD report.
Yeah. Well, going back to Simon Fisher-Becker, I want to maybe rub it in Keith's face that he's a personal friend of Sean and mine on Facebook as well.
Oh, I just became friends with Daphne Ashbrook. And you know who's now following me on
friends
Twitter?
with Daphne
You know who's
for
following
a
me on
year
Twitter?
now. Who?
Daphne.
Yeah, Daphne's following me too.
No, she's not.
Yes, she is.
I checked.
No, she
she's
is.
not following anyone but me.
But we're friends with Simon on Facebook. Where are you, Keith?
I didn't know he was on
Actually,
Facebook.
he just got a Facebook account not too long ago. So.
Speaking of friend of the show, Simon Fisher-Becker, a very happy birthday to him today.
Absolutely. Today is his birthday. And I'm
Which was
certain
Sunday.
that he's listening. So
He might be.
I hope so.
Simon, if you're listening, happy birthday, sir.
Absolutely.
Sounded like he had a good time,
Something
too,
we
from his
should
tweet stream.
something we should point out that Phil talked about in the first part of his thing was that Ken Deep, our thoughts, prayers, and meditations go out to him as well.
Yes.
For a speedy recovery, because Ken Deep, who is one of the co-hosts on Doctor Who Podshock, did suffer a heart attack earlier in the week. So again, our thoughts go out to him and hopes for a speedy recovery. I haven't talked to anybody directly online, but I have seen some posts that he's doing well.
Oh, that's
so
good.
Hopefully, speedy recovery for him.
Yeah, and I feel really bad, Ken, because I don't know where I've been that I didn't see anything posted. This was the first I heard of it, so it kind of knocked me for a loop. So definitely, I hope you're feeling better, because he's kind of, having been to Galley and met a few of the faces to put with the names.
He was one of them.
He's one of them. I mean, I've got a picture of Ken, so, Mel and I talked to him, and he was a great guy. So, yeah, kind of stunned me today. So definitely, Ken, if you hear this, get better, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thoughts, prayers, and meditations also go out to his co-host, Louis Trapani, who suffered. I meant to bring this up a week or two ago. He suffered major flooding because he lives on Long Island.
Yeah.
From Hurricane Sandy. So,
Superstorm
Sandy. So he's been fighting with water. He went without power for like 14 or 15 days.
I think it was 16 before they finally got it back on.
They finally got it back on, and now he's still getting water out of his basement. Well, he's still getting waterlogged items out of his basement, and he's still trying to fight mold now in his basement.
Wow.
So because
what
happened is he had no power for weeks, or for a week and a half.
2 weeks.
It was 2 weeks, 16 days. He's got an electric pump, but there was no way to pump the water out, so he was bailing it by hand for the longest time. And he's got a lot of stuff that's ruined and a lot of memorabilia. In fact, I watch his posts and I just cringe every time, but it makes you think, at least he's alive, at least he's safe, and hopefully he's not having any sort of adverse health effects from having so much water in his house. But
the last post that I saw
and his
was
sister's in the hospital on top of that.
Yeah, the last post that I saw was that he did contact FEMA, and they said something to the effect of apparently his case had fallen through the cracks, and they were working to rectify it. Oh, so hopefully,
his insurance does not cover his sewage backup either, because the flooding came from sewage backup because all of that water didn't come into the house, but it was causing everybody to have sewer pushed back up through, and that's what happened to him, and so it's not covered under his
insurance. Policy.
So, of course, we've digressed from Chicago TARDIS, but good luck to the Podshock boys, and as far as I know, James Naughton's doing fine. So I haven't heard any demise there. So James, hang in there.
Things that we're thankful for.
Absolutely.
So.
But it sounds like Phil had a lot of fun this weekend. I would have loved to have seen that concert they did.
Oh, I know. I saw the pictures.
Yeah.
I tell you, Dr. Phil, I've been in talks with the folks in the powers that be at Washburn about trying to get something together with the music department on campus for doing some sort of film thing. If you want to bring Untempered Schism to Topeka...
It's not Untempered Schism.
I thought this was
Well-tempered.
The Well-Tempered. If you want to bring the Well-Tempered Schism to Topeka and perform it on campus, I'm people who know people. I'm pretty sure we can get that set up.
Oh, that would be awesome.
We'd be there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, we have to pay him?
Yeah, well, I'm sure at least travel expenses.
Well, maybe not.
I got a floor.
I'm sure he won't. I'm sure his crew won't do it out of the goodness of their heart. But hey, you're welcome to stay with us, though. Absolutely, we've got at least 4 places.
Well, yeah,
we got one place where you could be by yourself. You got the run of the place.
Have a place
Sean doesn't use
yourself.
it.
In other news, I'm looking for a roommate, so come stay in my spare
Got
bedroom.
at least 2 beds over there now. So
No, just the one still. No. I just have a room for the
An empty room.
An empty room.
It's an empty room.
I guess you took your bed, didn't you? Well, why did you? Because you guys don't sleep in a single bed in here, do you?
I didn't have a single bed there.
Oh, I thought you did.
No.
His other bed was the futon.
Yeah,
Oh,
my
that's
futon was the other
right.
bed.
That's right.
In my
You
old
got a
place
queen
before
here,
that.
don't you? At least
Full.
full.
Yeah.
Okay.
She had a full. She brought the full.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
In my bedroom before Sean's, it was a twin.
I know.
And that's in my dad's basement.
Oh, okay. Well, Phil, there's another place you could stay.
Well, there we go.
Keith's
You could
dad's
stay at Keith's
basement.
dad's
There's a
basement.
twin bed.
And
So-
actually, he has a spare room. He probably wouldn't even mind. Just know he goes to bed really early and gets up really early.
None of that double bass practice, mister.
Yeah.
Double bass practice.
Yeah. Anyway,
It's
so
like a boggle.
Phil.
He just saw that episode tonight.
I'm sure he
A
did.
bagel.
A bagel.
All right, Phil. Thanks for turning that report in. We certainly appreciate it.
We definitely do.
We wish we could have been there, but
It sounds like Chicago TARDIS is
One of these
kicking-
years.
I'm
And they
thinking-
had some great... I saw a lot of the pictures. They had some great cosplay.
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of pictures online and on Facebook. In fact, Chicago TARDIS itself posted a
Yeah,
lot of pictures.
that's the only
from
ones I saw
from
was the
I've
official.
seen a few come across Twitter, and one of a friend that, well, a friend of a friend and a friend that's there that took. So
Well, and what's her name? Quinlea? Quinlea? I know I'm mispronouncing that. I'm sorry. Miss Howard, who cosplayed as Leela at Galley. She's a cosplay fanatic. I don't think I've seen a picture of this woman not dressed up in something.
she goes to work dressed as something.
Pretty much. I think it might be her
A
full-time
different one
gig.
every day,
Yeah,
too.
I think it might be her full-time gig. But she was there this week,
Oh,
and I saw
cool.
her post on Facebook that she was
What
all
was she
very
dressed
excited.
as?
She apparently had multiple costumes.
Wait, was she
ready
the
to
one
go.
that did Perry at Gallifrey?
When I saw her, she was Leela.
Oh, okay.
I have the picture of her, of me and Leela together. As
Oh,
her.
yeah. No, this was a different girl.
Different girl.
Okay.
But
There's another
I-
gal that
I think she's
does
done
just as many, and she,
Yeah, I think she's done a Perry before.
Okay.
I have to double check.
I saw
the
a
photos, but
Perry in the pictures.
maybe it was her.
maybe
And
it
there was a great cyber leader.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Oh, he was good.
I did see the Dalek turtle that Dr.
and,
Phil
and the canine and
I
the
didn't
mini.
see the canine dog.
I didn't see the canine dog, but I saw the canine and the mini Dalek. That
Oh, I
stands
did see-
about
I
as
saw the
tall
mini Dalek,
as
yeah. I did see the
canine.
mini Dalek. Yeah, the turtle I didn't quite get.
Yeah, me
I
neither.
wasn't sure.
But
Anyway.
okay, to each its own.
Again, Phil, thank you.
Yes.
All right, well, let's move on to some feedback of our own. And now I'm going to warn the listener. We haven't read or listened to any of this yet, so we wanted to be
I've read some of
completely
it.
What?
I read some. Not all.
Glenn and
but
I
some.
wanted to be completely fresh.
Fresh.
Hey, I'm gonna keep
and-
her the feedback.
So, you know, if
I
we
read some,
we
some
wanted to
all.
laugh and cry and just have all the emotions
There's
right
great,
here
There is
live
great
on the
stuff in
show.
this.
So,
Mainly
don't
crying.
ruin it for us, spoiler man. I read some of it.
Mainly,
You told me you didn't read any.
mainly
I read
crying.
s-
I haven't read any of this.
Oh, I
You
said I had
told-
listened.
Liar.
I said I had listened.
Lied to me.
I said listen.
Liar.
First up is
He's
Ben.
a liar.
He sent us feedback.
Who's
in.
this? Who's
Ben
this? Sorry. Ben. Hey, Ben.
sent us in from feedback in from our Facebook page. He said, "Congrats on the 100th episode. Keep up the great work."
Thank you,
Ben.
Ben. We are 100 in, and forgive us if we forget when you joined us, but we're glad that you're along for the ride.
There is a turtle dragging Daleks.
Told you, it's weird, isn't it? I don't have Ben. That's why you read Ben's, isn't it? 'Cause
It's on
not-
Facebook.
Oh, I got you. Yes, thank you, Ben. Did you check all of our avenues too?
Yes, I did.
We're good to go.
Yeah, we're good to
You're
go.
the good keeper.
See?
Good
I am the keeper.
Good
And that's why I
keeper.
read some of it in advance.
All right, next up is
David.
David, and David writes. You're always next in line, Sean. You're supposed to be prepared even on feedback shows.
He was busy looking at
It's
I was
turtles.
distracted by the turtle.
You had weeks. You had weeks to prepare for this. We knew we've been doing a feedback show for a long time. You know when Keith reads a feedback that you're next.
I
You
was
should
distracted
have it
by the
prepared.
turtle.
It's weird, isn't it?
Besides, I don't listen to Keith.
Well, then you didn't hear Ben's awesome
I
feedback.
did hear Burn. I did.
Yeah,
I
see?
did.
See? Okay. Watch it. Now, the turtle's distracting.
The turtle's very
I don't
distracting.
understand.
I don't get what's on its
It's kind of
back
like a
either.
mixed
Well,
Terry
it's
Pratchett.
it's supposed to look like a Dalek. It's got a Dalek tower, and then the shell kind of sort of
See,
has bumps.
here's the thing, though. The tower in the middle should have been wider. It should have
Well,
conformed
then
to this.
then it would have
shell.
covered up the bumps.
But it should have been a little wider and came into the shell.
Oh,
Kind of
I
melded
get
into
it.
The shell, that the
Turtles don't go upstairs either.
That's a stretch, but okay. It fits.
Hey, tween, did you get that one? That was for you.
David writes.
David writes, comment question, hey Vortex residents, just thought I'd write in and say how grateful I am to have you around. My week is built around listening to podcasts, and while doing tests, which I could go into detail with, but for fear of boring you to sleep and or horrific deaths, I won't.
Thank you for sparing us our lives.
David's a spy.
Now I'm really curious what he's doing.
Because he could tell us, but then he'd have to kill us. That's what I just read there. I can't back that up.
Oh, really?
This may come as a great surprise to you, Glenn, but 90% of the stuff that comes out of my mouth, I can't back up.
This may come to a surprise to you, Sean, but it doesn't surprise me.
I was surprised by that. Anyway, David continues. Thanks for 100 episodes of pure podcasting gold. You truly are the bestest, greatest, most tangenting Doctor Who podcast out there. From your number one Irish fan, David. David, I really don't care that you like Notre Dame, but thank you for the
that's
feedback.
not what he means, Sean. No.
Oh, no?
He's actually from Ireland.
What?
This is from one of our over the seas fans. Yes.
Do we have a push pin on the board for Ireland?
Yeah.
We should take a picture of the board.
Aldrich
When David wrote in
yeah,
earlier
Aldrich
this
is in
year.
and Robbie Bonham
And David.
and David.
This wasn't his first time
No,
writing
it wasn't
it.
David's first time. Yes, we have a push band. We have 3 of them.
Did I
At
know
the
that
very
David was
least.
Irish? I mean, seriously, no joke. I don't think I knew that.
Maybe all along you thought he was a Notre Dame fan.
That was a joke. I got that. God, these guys. David, I'm glad that, for whatever reason, that you're grateful to have us around. And I'm sorry that your week is built around listening to podcasts, but I'm happy that we can bring a spot of sunshine into your work week.
Absolutely. Our next bit of feedback comes from Scott,
Scott
from
in Philadelphia.
By the way, Sean, he's from Philadelphia, so he's American. Well, I presume he's American. He says,
There is
comment
that
question.
American we have, the listener that lives in America, that it's not American.
That's Will.
That's true.
No.
He is over. It's Robert,
Who?
I don't remember now.
the one who lives in Tokyo, or
That's Will.
That's Will.
William.
Okay, William. Oh, that's right.
William.
He's William. Yeah,
But he's
William.
American, but he lives
He
in
is an
Japan.
American, and he has lived in Germany and Tokyo.
Yes,
and,
all
many
over the
other
place.
But I have a push pin in
Tokyo.
Japan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this is Scott from Philadelphia.
But
Do you
Scott
have that
from
push pin?
Philly.
All right, he's putting that one in. Hello, Kansas crew.
Virtual push pin.
Online.
There's an app for that, surely. Let me look this up.
If you get an iPhone, there is. Hello, Kansas crew, and happy 100th show. While I've only recently written you a couple of times, I've been a fan for at least a year. Out of all the different Who podcasts I listen to, there is one thing you do better than anyone else: sharing the week-to-week stories of your lives, laughing at and with each other, just being 3 friends sitting around talking. I write this as the most sincere compliment. It reminds me of one of the Mayberry TV shows with the guys in Floyd the Barber's shop, or Andy and Barney chawing with each other, and Opie stopping by. It would be so sad not to hear some whistling at this point. Ha ha ha. But really,
Oh, too bad we didn't.
what
listen.
made those scenes great was the easy, relaxing, genuine friendship of people. That's a terrible whistlers. Friendship
A
of
mouthful of chocolate chips.
people enjoying each other's company, and that's what you have. So
Aww.
that makes me Andy, Sean is Barney, and Keith's Opie.
I don't want to be Opie.
Dude, Opie wound up making more money than all of us combined.
Well, that's
Opie's
true.
directing stuff now.
I'll be Opie.
First of all, he went on to be friends with the Fonz, and
Oh,
then
that's
he went on to
true.
direct some of the big blockbuster films.
That doesn't make Blake the Fonz, does he?
I'm going to say no right now.
No offense, Blake.
He could be Potsy.
He would be Potsy.
That I can see. All right, sorry,
Maybe
Blake. No
Ralphie.
offense.
Did we just cross-pollinate universes?
I think we sort of did.
Yeah.
He'd be Floyd the Barber.
Oh, now that's rude.
What? He is.
That's just rude.
Why?
That's just rude.
I liked Floyd.
Yeah. Sorry. All right. Scott goes on to say, your other great quality are the fairness of your reviews. 80 to 90% of the time, you're very fair.
Hey!
Recent Western with an Android not included, LOL. Even when I disagree with you, I can appreciate your opinions and your points of view. There are a few podcasts I can't listen to because, well, sometimes the fastest way to ruin a favorite thing is listening to other supposed fans. So, here's a question. How would you describe your roles as critics? Do you have a conscious focus, do you have a conscious focus you aim for? I'm going to read that again. Do you have a conscious focus you aim for, or just how you feel at the time? I'll add, you are the types that promote the show, not the type who whine and complain so much you wonder why they ever watch. All the best to you, and may you go at least another 100. Scott from Philadelphia.
Thank you, Scott.
Thanks, Scott.
How do we define our roles as critics? Is it how we feel at the time, or is it kind of
I think at least for me, considering how we started this podcast, my role as a critic is in new eyes more than anything else.
So yours is kind of yours is an aim focus, but it's sort of based on how you feel at the time.
Yeah,
because
it really
you're
is.
learning all this at once. You're exploring this, and everything's new to you.
Yes, absolutely.
It's fresh eyes, so it's your reaction.
And how I feel when watching and what it draws out of me and my initial thoughts. I mean, really, most of the time when I watch an episode, I don't have weeks and months and years to ponder on the episode. I have less than a week, usually 3 days, if that. So I would say I approach it with freshness.
Sean, how about you?
I would agree. You guys know me. I'm very as the wind blows kind of stuff. I always try and look at things with a 1 foot planted firmly in fandom and one planted in the I can be a little more critical. And you have to... in a way, I dislike the word critic because I especially when you've been in the movie business as long as I have, which sounds much cooler than it actually was. Well, video stores. You hear a lot of quotes and you see a lot of things on the back of the boxes. Best RoboCop ever, and it's the third one, and you just kind of go, really? And then you see a lot of people.
I liked RoboCop 3.
Don't start with me. And then you see a lot of things.
He's the one that wrote Best RoboCop ever.
No,
he went and actually wrote that on the back of the boxes.
Granted, that was the first RoboCop I ever saw, and then I went back and watched 1 and 2.
This is literally an example of buyer beware. You know who wrote the review on the back of the RoboCop box, Best RoboCop Ever? Is a 9-year-old girl from Kansas City, Missouri, advertising
Really?
things on KSN, whatever the KSNT.
KSHB.
KSHB. Is it KSHB?
That's the NBC affiliate.
What's the Fox affiliate? What it used to be the Fox affiliate.
KMBC
No.
is 9. KFD.
I don't think Fox is even a K.
KT. It is. No, it's WDAF? No.
KTMJ?
Does it matter?
No, that's us.
Does it matter?
No,
It's
you're
Kansas City
Kansas City.
Station.
WDAF.
No listener knows this.
Yeah, it
besides
doesn't matter.
us.
Anyway.
KTMJ is us.
No, you're KSNT.
And KTKA and KTMJ.
And
Oh.
NEKW. Or CW.
Is one of those stations in Kansas City?
No.
That's not you. Anyway.
That's what I'm saying. KTMJ is not in Kansas City.
That's where that
It was
quote,
WKRP, I think.
and this I'd buy that. Because what they do is when they look for things and they sift through all of the reviews and they look for catchphrases and they pick the best one. So the 9-year-old in Kansas City that said, "This is the best RoboCop ever," that was the clip that they lifted. She was a guest commentator on one episode of the show, of the news that week. And
He used to have critics come in every week.
Why is a 9-year-old reviewing RoboCop 3? Let's talk about that issue first. But anyway, that was the best quote
Why
they
is
could
an
find on the
adult
back of the
letting their
box.
9-year-old watch RoboCop 3?
Let's talk about that. But this is the best quote that they could find. So buyer beware when you see those big splashy things on the back of the box and you go, "Oh, this looks good." Anyway, as you become a critic, and it's very easy to watch people tear things apart. And as a writer, I know somebody put work into that. I know somebody put effort into that. And maybe there's a story behind why this didn't congeal as well as it should have. Or maybe there's a reason that, the special effects happen to be particularly shoddy. And as fans, we can really nitpick on those things. And we tell you, we're really nitpicking here when we laugh at something like the Merca or the giant rat or, whatnot. Or if we have a story that's like, "Oh my God, why was this thing 6 parts?" That's the fan part of it. And as a critic, it's difficult to really kind of bounce back and forth and do that. So I always try and kind of temper my criticisms, even on the stories that I absolutely hate. And I hope that I've been somewhat fair in that. Because I don't want to be the negative Nelly that's really coming down on somebody else's hard work. But at the same time, as a fan, I demand a certain level of... So I kind of go both ways on them. But
I think I go in with a conscious focus because I think I try to be consistent. So something I say 6 years ago about a Doctor Who story, I try to look at it the same way because I want to be consistent. But as a fan and as re-watching these at different times in my life, as I grow older, or I have a new affection for Doctor Who, or I have a new affection for a Doctor, or something like that, I think I'm the same way. I think I have one foot planted in fandom and one foot planted in, trying to see what an outsider would see, or the realism of something. And so I think as we go, I think I started with a conscious, focus, but I think I've kind of deferred to or become more of an in the moment sort of person. It just kind of my mood affects my opinion of something. For example, I'd never seen Web Planet before, but because I was tired and it was boring, that might have tainted my appreciation for Web Planet. But on the flip side of that, I think that we are sometimes very conscious about being fair to the story and looking at it from all points of view.
I like to think that we are.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can definitely see you as being a very focused guy because, man, when you made up your mind that you didn't like exaggerated caricatures of people, you stuck to your gun.
Guess what? I can watch that
wrong.
I can watch that
so
100 times, and I'm still going to come back on the fact that was horrible.
Or when you hit an anthropomorphized bug and you just start shaking.
Now, but you guys understand that just because there's an anthropomorphized anything in it isn't going to taint an episode for me. I just get mad at the fact that they can't...
We just like to poke that bear.
I just get mad at the fact that they can't be more creative and come up with something original.
Oh,
anyway.
right.
And I would think with you guys, age would matter. Like, when I went back and rewatched Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes, the first time when I watched it, I just knew I didn't like it. I couldn't point out the exact reasons. When I went back and rewatched it recently, as I've matured, I can point out the reasons why that's not a good movie.
Oh, I thought you were going to say I liked it better, and I'd say you're a fool.
No. Now I have specific reasons why I can point to why that's not a good movie. Right. And I think where you guys got to watch Doctor Who...
Sometimes it comes on second viewing.
Yeah. Well, and getting to watch it as a kid, you don't have that focus. And as an adult, you are able to look at it more critically.
We have more of a tainted view as a child.
Yes.
Because we're looking at it from an entertainment perspective.
The memory cheats.
Yeah. And when we come back to it later, we're still looking at it as a entertainment perspective, but we're also looking at it from having grown a little bit. And Sean and I have been in the industry slightly, a little bit, understanding some of that as well. You to a point as well. Just understanding some of the limitations and things like that. So,
now, we've had a lot of instances of a story that we've gone into that fandom has hated or that we remember not being particularly good. I mean, Silver Nemesis
definitely
springs to mind.
or even
Battlefield
reverse.
for me was
Battlefield.
Yeah, one of the. I enjoyed Battlefield because of the brig, but beyond that, I couldn't think of anything that I liked about it. Went back and found that I enjoyed.
I mean, just certain stories
parts
that
of
we've watched that we really kind of came away with going, what do people not like about this? This was a lot of fun. Even I don't remember why I hated on this when I was younger. Have you found one yet that's kind of been the reverse, that you just absolutely loved, and watching it as an adult, you've completely shattered the rose-colored glass version of it, that you went, wow, what was I thinking?
I think I came back on Daleks a little harder the second time. The Daleks, the second time that I'd seen it, because I had seen, now not as a kid. I had seen Daleks years ago before we were doing this podcast.
Well, we say as a kid, as a generic.
Yeah, and I enjoyed it.
Keith's still a kid.
But I've had 3 phases of Doctor
In my
Who.
who-ness, yes.
I had childhood or
Quasi.
tween. Actually, I think I was even older. I think it was teenage years. But I had my teenage years that I watched it, or my tween and teenage years. Then I had my rediscovery period, and now I have this the new, basically what I call the podcast period, where we're
the new golden age.
Yeah, exactly, the new golden age.
The Silver Age?
So I think Daleks. I had approached
That's a
it the
great
first
title
time.
for a Cyberman story.
Ooh, that would be Silver Age. Maybe
A
that's
Cyberman in a comic book shop.
You guys done? So I had appreciated Daleks the first time I'd seen it, but maybe came back to it with more of a critical eye, and maybe not as much enjoyment of it the second time that we watched it. But that's the only one that comes close that I can recall. So
I honestly can't think of one. I mean, the ones that have kind of been panned.
Was it Vengeance on Varys we watched?
Colin
Baker?
that one.
I think I
That's
did come back
Syl,
that
right?
one and had a little more critical opinion
I don't think
of
so.
it.
I think that was another one you liked better.
Oh, I think you're right. I did go the other way on it.
That was the other one I was trying to think of, and he threw me with Battlefield. Was Vengeance on Varos that we both
You're
came
right.
in with.
I think I did come
In
back
fact,
to that
I'll go so far as to say, honestly, all of the Colin Bakers that we've watched, I have come away from with a.
You know what happens though is you hear the Colin Baker. This is
You hear
everybody
the
says
hate.
this, but you hear the Colin Baker 6 audios, and you realize how good of a doctor he could have been, and so you look at those
You do.
ones
You look
that
at
he
them
do
with
have.
completely new eyes now.
Yeah, just more
To be
appreciative.
fair, though, Vengeance on Varos we tackled before we ever listened
We really
to anything.
did, but
Yeah,
that's
that's true.
That's not true for me because I
Well,
have listened
you
to
may
6
have,
Doctor
but-
audios.
Yeah, I hadn't.
Sean
I
hadn't.
hadn't heard any. Maybe I'd heard Sirens of Time, but I don't think so. I don't think I'd listened to that one yet. But yeah, no, I mean, all of the Colin Bakers have been more enjoyable. There's a couple of them that I know. I mean, I know I crammed Android Invasion down you guys' throat, and I was so excited about it, and you both kind of like, it was all right. And yes, I can look at it critically and go, it was all right. It doesn't matter.
I might have disliked
my
that one more the second
childlike
time, but
glory over that episode, I don't care.
I might have disliked that one more the second time, but
And I got news for you. Next week, we're doing Invisible Enemy.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to that one.
I cannot give
did I
it.
tell you I'm not going to be here next week?
You did not. Doesn't matter. I know you hate it. I love it.
We're still watching Invisible Enemy without.
We're watching Invisible Enemy without.
I'm surprised
We're
it's taken.
reviewing Sarah Jane, so it doesn't matter.
I'm surprised it's taken so long
Oh,
for me
right,
to
I gotta
watch
wait
this
another
story.
Yeah, you got 2 weeks
I
before
got
you
2 weeks
review
before I
it.
can talk about
Yeah.
it. I will have a glowing review of this. There's absolutely nothing. I'm warning you guys right now.
There's
I'm
your
not,
pre-review.
I'm not going to be
I'll
impartial
be here
on
to
this
be on the
story.
exact opposite side of it.
And I know. I will not be able to give an impartial review of this one.
And I'll probably fall in the middle where I
No,
love
you
Kane.
won't.
I'll
Because
love
you'll have
Canine.
gushed over K9, and you'll go, I don't remember much of this episode except for I was so focused on K9.
That's
Who really
true.
isn't much of.
If he's not a
K9.
big role in it, then
No, he's huge.
But
He's not the K9 you know. This is his first episode. This is like
It's
going
still
back,
John Leeson.
This is like going back and watching. That's a bad example because that was a different actor. I was going to say A-Team, and you see the pilot episode, and it's a different face than you get later on. That's a bad
doesn't
example
count.
though because it was a different actor at the time. So it wasn't Starbuck. I don't know.
I guess we'll find out.
Frasier
In 2
from
weeks.
Cheers.
Yes.
Totally different character when he started on Cheers.
Yes.
To the end of Cheers. Lovable character by the time you don't like him at the beginning because he's a different kind of character because the character hasn't been explored. That's how I would like in K9 and Invisible Enemy.
I go one step further. I would say that this is kind of like Frasier at the beginning of Cheers to Frasier at the end of Frasier.
Well, yeah, no, absolutely. that
much
too.
different.
But even in that time,
because he went from
Friends,
being an only child to having a whole family,
Yeah.
and a brother, and all that kind of stuff. So
my dad and
And a
brother.
dog.
I just pretended that they didn't
he's
exist.
apparently a pathological liar in addition to being a
He
psychologist.
was just embarrassed of him, is what they kind of. That's the way they explained it
Wouldn't
away
you be?
on the show.
But I like Niles.
Sam said, he never even mentioned you guys, and it comes up with the fact that he was a little embarrassed by his.
I love
dad as well.
retconning like that. Anyway, yeah.
Who's next, Keith?
Mark sends in some feedback.
Are we gonna read the part that he wrote here?
I was going to because it's funny.
Okay.
He says, "Sorry guys, the quality isn't the best. My voice goes all funny. It gets cut short, and I get harassed by a farmer halfway through it. But hopefully it's still usable. Oh, and I don't say anything relevant. I got distracted and started giving you guys a quick tour of my surroundings.
Oh, we didn't give the spoiler warning.
Anyways, happy 100th anniversary, Mark McMarmite." And yes, he's talking about audio.
My voice goes so funny. I still do that.
And here it is.
Hello guys, a bit of a strange place to send audio feedback from, but this is Mark Lee, a listener since episode 15? Yeah, 15. I'm currently stood in the middle of a hayfield with a copy of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I believe that's how Douglas Adams found the inspiration for the book, so I believe it's a good place for inspiration. But you can hear the motorway, I don't know what you call it in America. Let's say motorway. So you can hear all the cars in the background. I was sat here and I thought, let's send in some audio feedback to the guys, since it's your 100th episode. Congratulations, by the way. So much has changed in the last 2 years. I believe it's 2 years. I could be wrong on that, but okay. So, I'm not... Okay, sorry for that interruption there. I saw a farmer walking across the field and thought I'd better leave. So I'm now stood on a country pathway, which is... It's all very green. Very, very green, very British. Don't know if that's something to be proud of, but... Yeah, our grass is very green. I can see a hospital and a church in the background. The place where I live, it's basically a very British village. We have hayfield. I just saw a huge weird house in the background there. Thought I'd mention it. So I will send you guys feedback next week, and I hope that you guys can carry on going for years to come.
Mark, you need to send in more audio feedback.
Mark, let me
That
say,
was fantastic.
I have never been transported by audio to one location like I was in that audio in my entire life. I can picture the farmer harassing you. I can picture the warehouse in the background and the lush green. I mean,
Very, very, very lush and very green.
Typical British.
And I have
I'm
decided
not even sure.
I've decided I'm going to start using motorway.
Yeah, motorway.
I'm
Yeah.
convinced.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think there are roads or highways here, just so that you know. But yeah, motorway.
Motorway.
Depending on how fast they're going.
If I can go on holiday, I can drive on a motorway.
Although he lives in a village, so it can't really be a freeway. It
Yeah.
has to be more of a highway or just road.
Well, I've seen Miracle Day. You got to pay for those roads over there. So nothing is free in England. Are you kidding? That's why we're such big hits, because we're free.
Well, I'm back. The farmer just walking through the field.
Anybody else have an
Thought I'd run away.
Anybody else have an image of him just hitting the dirt and hiding under the grass? You know, one of those movie shots where the camera's down low and you can hear. Shh, shh.
I'm curious at what the field was. What crops was that?
Does Mark get up one day and say, "Hey, I'd sort of like to get my inspiration as Douglas Adams did with Hitchhiker's Guide. I'll go find a lush green field." not knowing he would encounter a farmer that day.
Let's hope he didn't have a shotgun or something with him. I remember stories from my mom and my uncle stealing watermelon and getting shot at.
I'm sure. What are you insinuating?
Wait,
Mark was stealing watermelon?
is this your story, or did Mark tell you this off mic?
No, this is from my mom and my uncle, who would steal watermelon from the farmer's field near their cabin, and he'd come out with a shotgun and shoot it in the air, and they'd run off.
Your mom was a scallywag?
Well, according to her,
Oh, you wait till I
my
talk to her next
uncle
time.
and cousin dragged her into
Yeah,
it.
sure they did.
Yeah.
You wait till I talk
Exactly.
to her. Watermelon thief.
Wow. That was good stuff, Mark. You certainly don't disappoint.
Mark,
And thanks for sending in audio feedback. That was the first time I've gotten audio from Mark.
We know what Mark's voice sounds like.
I like your accent.
Fantastic accent.
Yes, absolutely.
We hope to never hear that again. No, I'm just kidding.
If you send in that stuff, keep it coming. All right, next
Was
up.
Mark the one that sent his grocery list one time on accident?
No, I think that
Or
was Alex.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure that was Alex.
All right.
Next up is Brittany. Brittany says, "Warning, there may be gushing words ahead. I have to start this email with a big congratulations. 100 episodes is quite the accomplishment. What is impressive is that a lot of the weekly podcasts that I listen to tend to skip a week or longer, especially during the breaks in the shows. But you guys have been truly weekly. Might have been a couple days late, but never skipped a week. One of the coolest things about it is that nearly 2 years ago, Keith knew nothing about Doctor Who. And now look at him.
Doctor Who theme wedding, Doctor Who stuff on the shelves.
She's
Doctor
got
Who
a point.
sneakers.
I listen to a lot of Doctor Who
Cosplaying.
podcasts too, and there's most of them skipped a week or two sometimes. We never
I'm
have it
proud
in
of
2
us.
years.
We've not missed a week yet.
In 100
For
episodes.
100 episodes. We have 100
now,
weeks.
Keith
in
hasn't
the
been with us every week.
No.
Oh,
And
no.
soon you won't be with us every week. And soon Sean won't
Yeah,
be with us every week. So,
He's quick to point that out. Well, just because I'm first doesn't mean I'll be the last.
true.
Wow.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got married.
That's amazing. Well, don't apologize.
That was sarcasm. Do I need a sign?
It's all Sarah's fault. Why don't I have Brittany's email? It's a good thing it wasn't my turn to read because I don't have this
No
one.
kidding.
That's kind of why I took this one. I figured he wasn't ready.
I would have been ready, but then I would not have been ready because I don't have it.
Brittany goes on to say,
Another thing I love about your podcast is how interactive it is. Your Friday Night Who is so much fun, even when the story is not exactly the greatest story that Doctor Who has to offer. As for splitting six-parters into two halves, after last time, I vote yes. I have been watching so many classic Doctor Who due to Friday Night Who that I might not have watched or might have been sometime before I watched the story. I also enjoy the Doctor Who photo challenge, and I hope you guys were serious when you said you have had ideas for another one.
No, we were just teasing.
that's mean, Sean.
Yeah, I'm just teasing. We have. I myself have come up with 31, so we're gonna have to pick a longer month now.
Oh. Well, good. Sean did my half too. Or my third too.
And
And your third for that matter. All right, we're done.
as Glenn complains about sending the photos in, he'll be like, "I'm doing all of them next time because I don't like Sean's picks."
Some people might be yelling, "No!" But I really enjoy your tangents, even if it's about light bulbs or gutters. Though I prefer your tangents about the more geeky stuff.
So, home improvement, no, not so much. Geeky stuff, yay.
It's interesting.
We'll keep that on
It's
mind.
interesting that the two that she picked out, light bulbs and gutters, are both
Home improvement.
hardware store related.
I'm telling you.
that is apparently an area that our demographic would like us to stay away from.
No other homeowners out there?
Apparently not.
No, they're all tweens.
No, they're not. We've established that.
Even though I came to this podcast kind of late, I did enjoy mainlining majority of this podcast, especially during the 6th series when you guys were trying to figure out what was going to happen during the series. Sometimes being scarily accurate, and other times being really off course.
That's true. For as much accuracy as we were and was eerie, we did have some really weird tangents out there. Now, granted, that was from you guys, but
Yeah, Who said that it was going to be Susan?
Susan's coming back.
see?
Or Jenny?
Well, I didn't publicly do Jenny, though.
No, you put it in the envelope.
I was afraid that it
You
was.
put it in the envelope.
Backpedal, backpedal,
Yeah.
backpedal.
Backpedal on that one. I got River right, though.
You get River.
That's
right.
true.
River runs through it.
I hope this doesn't sound strange, but I really like listening to your What You Did This Week at the beginning of the show. It has a more personal feel to it that you guys treat us as friends instead of just strangers listening.
Strangulars?
Strangulars.
She didn't write Strangulars. She actually wrote Strangers.
Strangers listening in each week. Every week, really. Although I occasionally get jealous of some of the things you have done. Thanks to your podcast, I have been introduced to a bunch of awesome people, both on Facebook and Twitter, and I love chatting with everyone about everything, whether it being about Doctor Who or not, and getting glimpses of everyone's daily life. To quote myself, the Doctor Who community is not just a bunch of people who all enjoy the same show. We are a family. To wrap this up, I would like to say thank you very much for this wonderful podcast. You have become my highlight of my Monday with your newest podcast. Plus, I tend to re-listen to your podcast more often than most of the podcasts I listen to. Raises glass. Here's to another 100 and more episodes. All right, enough from me. I can't wait to hear what everyone else has to say. Until next time, Brittany.
Hear, hear.
Hear, hear. Thank you, Brittany.
Thank you, Brittany.
P.S. Sorry if this email sounds a bit choppy or poorly written. I've been very busy, so I've been working on this email since Wednesday. I haven't really read it over. I thought it sounded great, Brittany.
It did. Sounded true.
I like how all of our listeners who write in with feedback apologize for the poor nature of their feedback. But I'm pretty sure not once have we apologized for the poor nature of
this podcast.
When we can go into a tangent at any minutes.
Brittany, I think the reason, I hope, the reason that you really feel like that it's not just three friends sitting around talking about Doctor Who, it's all of us as friends discussing and interacting as Doctor Who. I hope that's what we have conveyed to a lot of people. And I think sometimes the people that write in a lot get a lot more love and mentions because we do remember them and they're on the top of our head. But we really have that connection to all of our listeners. And we hope that each and every one of them get that out of this podcast as well, Brittany. And you came late to the game, but you're one of the true people that shine. And we
very
love,
active.
Yeah, very active. And we really enjoy you being part of the podcast as well.
She's a bulwark of, is that a word? Of Friday Night Who.
What? She continues Friday Night Who after we stop
out
it.
there without no authority and ask if it's a word. You're supposed to say, she's a bulwark, and just do it with authority. And then everybody goes, it must be a word, because Sean said it.
Have you listened to the show?
That's not how the show goes.
Strategery.
Plethora.
Oh,
That's a word.
Yes, but I did it with authority. And so it became a word.
No, you had a question mark at the end of it.
No, I didn't.
This time.
No.
No, I thought it was with authority this time. The first time was plethora.
No. But who qualified me the next week? Chrissy. Thank you, Chrissy.
The librarian.
Yeah.
Who would know?
Bulworth of Friday Night Who.
Well,
I'm sorry, I got cookie in my mouth. I thought you were going to talk.
Is that a Twinkie?
I'm really glad to talk again.
No, she's new to the podcast relatively. I mean, she's been around since your wedding.
Yeah, actually.
So, but still, I mean, she's there a lot. So, yay.
And she's continued Friday Night Who several times when we've stopped. Especially when it comes with new series. When we did Blink, she continued with Utopia, as did I. And this week she did continue with Shakespeare Code after Smith & Jones.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Did you?
After I came back home.
Oh.
So you two were watching Shakespeare Code and I was watching Smith & Jones.
Pretty much, yeah.
I was so looking forward to this. I was so jazzed. Mel was jazzed. I'm old. I took a nap and I didn't get up. I'm not the first person to have done that, though. But it's also not the first time I've done that.
That's true.
Wait, what? Did I take a nap one time and not get up?
No, we've had other listeners that have...
Well, you...
Well,
I was gonna say,
Dan,
you've done it two or three
Dan
times.
joined in late this week because he took a nap.
That's what he meant when he said, so I'm not... so you're the second or third one now.
Yeah, okay.
But you've done it, this is your third time.
Usually I can wake him up because he's at his place. Not this time.
Well, third time that you've missed Friday Night.
And normally I get fired at this point in the conversation.
Well, you would
Now-
if Glenn had missed
Now-
more than that.
Not only did I fall asleep during... Wait, not only did I fall asleep... I'll throw it out there now. Not only did I fall asleep for about 10 minutes during the Web Planet, I've been known to fall asleep at home during Friday night and not recovered.
Or
so.
just not even join in at all. So
Well, that happens because I have family, and I usually excuse myself on those
true.
nights. But there has been a couple of times I've joined from home.
Yes.
But it got eerily silent. It's because I fell asleep.
And then we poke the bear and say, "Hey, look, Len's asleep. Let's tweet him." Our next bit of feedback comes in from Chrissy.
And Chrissy writes,
Don't forget the subject.
Could he possibly be ready
there's a
this
subject?
time?
Oh,
That's crazy.
Feedback. Here comes a ton of feedback for your 100th Epiversary. Jazz hands. Should I have sang that?
I thought you were going to.
All right, he's going to do it again.
Feedback. Here comes a ton of feedback for our 100th Epiversary.
He's doing the jazz hands, too.
Yes.
Jazz hands.
Jazz hands.
I think from now on, when we do jazz hands, we have to say jazz hands.
Yeah, well,
That would
makes
make sense, wouldn't it?
Audio only.
Yes. You must say jazz hands now.
Jazz hands.
Dear Vortex boys,
He's the only one that does the jazz hands, so it's his rule. Go ahead.
I could say it while he jazz hands.
Dear Vortex boys, happy 100th Epiversary. I'll try to make this feedback as long and interesting as possible since my original plans fell through. Maybe I'll save that for the 200th Epiversary.
There's always the 150th.
We don't get to see her unmentionables in the background of her room this time. We did for the 25th.
I'm pretty sure it was
25.
in the foreground of the room. It wasn't in the background. It flew right past the camera. I went back in freeze frame and step by
She
step.
threw her underwear across the room?
Yeah. She went running off
That's
to go
where
get
this entire thing comes from.
I thought it was in a pile of clothes.
That's what
she
she
went-
claims.
That's what she claims it was T-shirts, but she went running off camera and started digging through things to find her Who outfit. And as the items passed by the camera, I'm pretty sure one of them was, an unmentionable.
Chrissy, I have no recollection of that, and I don't believe it actually happened because it's coming from Sean's mouth. So I will go on the
will back
record.
me up
I will
on
go on the record now
This
and say
story-
I don't believe it.
This
And I'm
story-
on your side now, Chrissy.
This has been
I
going
don't
on
know about
since
these
the 25th
unmentionables.
episode.
I know it's been going on,
75
but I
episodes
just
of
thought
this.
it was in a pile in the background that she might have possibly missed.
No, it's
that
always
I
been part of
possibly
the
missed when I
throwing.
saw
It's
it.
part of the throwing.
And then suddenly I'm apprised to the fact that it was allegedly.
It's always been
thrown
part of the
across
throwing.
Allegedly
No,
been
it's been part
thrown
of
across
throwings
the
for
room.
75 episodes.
And Tercy, I'm on your side.
It's always been
I'm
part of
going to
his
have
story.
to
That it's
divert
part
from
of
the
the
Vortex
throwing.
gang on this one. I'm going to have to go with I don't think it happened.
If you go back and watch her video, frame by frame
Which
by
we
frame.
just talked about not too long ago for Friday Night Who.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I wasn't there that way. Remember, you guys brought the
That's
unmentionables
true.
up again, and I wasn't
Yeah.
there. So
See, you haven't been.
Washing
You're getting
my
all of
hands.
this secondhand. That's your problem because you're never around for the
You haven't
unmentionable
seen the
conversation.
episode.
I saw the feedback though that she sent with the alleged. I'm going to call it the alleged unmentionables from now on. That's the journalist in me. The
Anybody got a
alleged
roll? Because there's a lot of
unmentionables.
butter coming off here.
Oh, I don't get what that means.
He's buttering her up.
Oh, that's clever.
I know nothing
Thank
about
you.
unmentionables. Keep going, Sean.
It's there. Also, at approximately the 1 minute 32 second mark in her video, Bigfoot.
I'm stepping away from
Well,
that
that
one.
I saw. That one I saw though.
It's like the Zapruder film. I've watched this a lot. I'm telling you.
He studied this.
I've studied. It's there.
We like to call it Sasquatch.
You call it Sasquatch. I'm calling it Bigfoot. I just pantomime the Bigfoot. You know the pose. First,
It sort of loses something when you have to explain the visuals that we do
I can't-
behind the mic.
do I have
Well,
to-
we need a camera.
I can't say jazz
Maybe there is an
hands.
argument for this being a video podcast.
I can't say jazz hands as I stop and do the Bigfoot pose. Bigfoot. Is that better? Are you happy you've killed Keith? This just in. Dead. Are you sufficiently recovered?
I'm good.
Because I read the next line and she's coming after you.
I know
Oh,
she's
son.
coming after me.
All
I've
right.
read
Is this one of
this
the
one.
ones you've read? All right. First, I have something to address from last week, and then I'll get to the fun stuff. All right, put your serious faces on, guys. Keith. Oh, just you.
Just me.
I say this with all the goodwill and kindness in my heart. Chrissy, I totally would have used a stronger word here.
I'll admit.
No, let him read it. Let him read it.
All the goodwill and kindness in my heart. Calm the crap down about Meet the Robinsons! Exclamation point. Repeat after me. It is a Disney movie.
It is a Disney movie.
It is cute and quirky and fun.
Am I supposed to repeat this part too?
Yes.
It's cute and quirky.
And fun. Repeat after her.
And fun.
It's made up.
It's made up. I'll agree with that.
It's not real.
It's not real.
It's fiction.
It's fiction.
It doesn't have to make sense with the real world to be good.
It doesn't have to make sense to be with the real world.
To be good.
To be good.
Say all of it.
This is in parentheses. I don't have to repeat.
You don't have to repeat this part. You're done now. I point to Back to the Future Part 2 as a prime example of this. That was only set 30 years into the future. Do you have your hoverboard or flying car yet?
I'm sorry, that was still more believable.
Didn't think so.
Bravo, Chrissy, bravo.
She brings
How
up a
come
good
you and
point.
I didn't come with that?
I know. As the champions of Back to the Future, we didn't come up with that one.
Wow.
The time travel in Meet the Robinsons is just fine. It's a sweet little story about a sweet little boy who finds a family with the most sweet little quirks possible. No need to be a sourpuss about it.
To be fair, I was more sourpuss than I should have been about it.
Yes, you were.
I was vehement about
You
it.
were a grumpy bear.
And she brings up a great point about Back to the Future. But
No, you don't get a butt.
Hey.
You're just done.
2 years, hoverboard. That's all I gotta say.
I'm totally
But to
buying a
be fair-
hoverboard before I have my car hover converted.
to be fair, Back to the Future didn't have inflatable buildings and singing frogs.
No, it had hoverboards.
It had hoverboards
And flying
and
cars.
and
Jaws
flying cars.
15.
And
19.
19. Jaws 19.
I could believe Jaws 19.
Directed by Max Spielberg.
I'm sorry.
Did you know that?
Yeah,
There,
his son.
there just wasn't enough believable. I think it's the style they went with made me not believe the time travel in it.
We're not gonna go
Keith,
there again this week.
We're not going there
Repeat
again.
after me. It is a Disney movie.
It's a Disney movie. I agree.
It's cute and quirky and fun. It's made up. It's not real.
She goes on to say,
It's fiction. And this is the important part for you, Keith. It doesn't have to make sense
That's true.
with the real world to be good.
I'm just saying, I might have enjoyed it more if somebody didn't push it as a great time travel movie.
It was a great time travel story. She goes on to prove my point. The beauty of time travel / futuristic types of stories is that nobody knows how time travel works or how the future's really going to be. Oh, people can make their own predictions about the future, which we do pretty regularly. And we're right more often than not. But until it actually happens, no one has a single clue. Even with time travel, we don't fully know how that would work in reality. We talk about cause and effect and fixed nexus points and wormholes and wibbly-wobbly timey-wimey, but until somebody actually makes time travel work in real life and proves what the consequences are, then any fiction writer can come up with any scenario and any story, and as long as the story the writer has constructed works within itself, then I'm okay with it. I don't need to apply it to anything in the real world to be able to enjoy it. This is why I get fed up with fandom sometimes, because everybody wants fictional stories to work within the real world, then those fictional stories were never meant to do that. Sometimes the science in science fiction is closer to what we would call magic. And if the magic in the story works for the story, then that's good enough explanation for me. And if you have issues with me calling it magic, you show me a real-life machine that travels faster than the speed of light, and then we can talk.
well said. Would you go get some peanut butter?
Sorry. That's two.
This is the second
This
episode
is the second
now.
episode.
Keith has gotten the hiccups in the middle of his
And
show.
I think, honestly, we'd have to go back and listen, but I think the first time that happened was probably one of those first four when you didn't do the open right. When we didn't not that you didn't do the open right, we didn't
I'm
have
sorry.
the open.
That goes back not that far.
No,
Really?
we were at your house.
We
when
were at
did
that
the
studio.
Yeah,
Oh, you're right. We
yeah,
were at my
your
house
place
when that
he had-
happened. I thought we were
because
still
he
in
had to go use the
Yeah.
peanut butter trick, didn't you?
I went and got
And
it
worked.
for him, actually.
And right now, I don't need it.
Oh, it's gone.
It's gone.
All right.
It was a one and done thing.
One and done.
And Chrissy
heard too.
brings up a fine point of the science you don't understand is magic.
No, she didn't say that.
Well, no, but she points to that. The science you don't know is magic.
No, it's not.
The
what
science-
The
she
science we
Sometimes-
sometimes
So we might
closer,
as well call closer
we
to
might as well,
magic.
which is the same
Quit
exact
putting words-
idea.
Quit putting words in.
It's the same idea, and I'm okay with
Chrissy's
that.
getting high praise from me right now.
She also
Really enjoying the
She also
feedback.
says right here that she threw underwear across the room. So
No, she
I don't
doesn't.
see that
Chrissy,
in
I'm
the
looking
script.
at right now. Again, I'm coming down on your side. No underwear mentioned whatsoever.
this is
Wait, now we're calling it underwear?
no,
Before we were calling it
it's
unmentionables.
I still come down on the side that Meet the Robinsons is not a good movie. It's enjoyable. It's maybe mindless, but it's not good. There's a difference. Michael Bay movies are enjoyable. They're not good. I categorize this in the
Rock.
Michael Bay category.
The Rock.
The Rock. Enjoyable. Not good.
No, it is good.
I have a problem with saying enjoyable and good don't equal. Now, enjoyable and great, no, but enjoyable
Okay,
and good.
maybe.
It's a
He
good
sold
film.
me as great.
If you enjoy
this is
a
a great
film, it's a
film.
good film. You can't say a bad film was enjoyable.
No,
Yeah,
but
you can.
But you could.
Piranha 3D is a bad film, but it's really, really
Yeah, see,
enjoyable.
I think you can, and I think you can also have a good film that you don't enjoy. I think there are a lot of. No,
I would agree.
really-
I would agree.
taking all these classes and watching all these films, there's a lot of, considered to be good films. Battleship Potemkin, considered to be a good film.
That's a great film.
I didn't enjoy it.
That's a great film.
I-
But you have bad taste in film too. So
It depends, but enjoyment and good doesn't mean
That's
it,
the
it,
one
it depends
thing
on your
that I-
merits.
that it irks you because you know what? I can say mean things to you all day, and you will laugh
Yeah,
in the
doesn't
in the,
bother
in
me.
the intent that they are meant. But when I start criticizing you about your taste in film, you just the
I
ire.
do.
You
I
can see
prickle.
it. It like got a little hair stand up on the
Just-
back of your head.
To be fair-
even little dagger eyes.
Chrissy, Sean doesn't like the remake of The Time Machine, and I do. I think the two are.
That could be a connection there because
Yeah, I think there's a big connection
I think
there.
part of that though was
I'm glad you're connecting the dots because he sure left. it
well,
out
no,
there.
I
Sorry.
from the standpoint that
He-
because
he's saying the remake of The Time Machine's not a good time travel movie, and saying Meet the Robinsons is.
no, I didn't say that. I didn't say that it wasn't a good time travel movie. I said it wasn't a good movie. That's different. But I think that comes from the fact that I had such high hopes and high expectations for a remake of The Time Machine because
well, that contained.
the Time Machine is one of my all-time favorite films. And so when I didn't know they were doing a remake, and then I saw the trailer
By
for
the
it,
Sun?
and it was like, oh, yes! And then I went and saw it, and it was like, no! Oh.
See, I read The Time Machine before I saw the original Time Machine, so I was let down by the original movie. Now, I liked the original movie, but I was set up so high by the book that the original movie, I thought,
I would agree
kind of
that the
came
book
down.
is above all of them.
Yeah,
I would agree with that.
So by the time I saw the third Time Machine, or the next incarnation of the Time Machine, which was the remake, my expectations were already very, very low, so I enjoyed it.
No,
See,
I still
It wasn't
what
a
I-
good movie, but I enjoyed it.
What I liked. See?
No, I'm just kidding.
you and your focused blah 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 blah. No. I think I would enjoy it more if they went and put the scenes back in it of the moon crumbling and destroying the
Oh, the
world.
deleted scenes were fantastic. Yes,
But they've never,
The deleted scenes make more sense. Make it make more
yeah,
sense.
they've never done that. Anyway, all right, got
Have
that
we
out of
started
the
the show yet?
Got that out of the way. Here's some other stuff I thought of for your feedback special. I have to say this. I think you guys are becoming a pretty well-rounded geekdom podcast. You've got Star Wars, Disney, and James Bond pretty well covered, as well as Who. I'm learning plenty that I didn't know before. I had no clue that there was ever any strife between Jim Henson's estate and Disney. That was a revelation. There are a few sci-fi fantasy blogs that I follow, but I think I get more from you guys on that subject than I do from the quote-unquote professionals that are paid to report on that stuff. Besides, you guys are far more entertaining, and you never take on the air of superiority that far too many podcasters and bloggers in fandom do. Not just Doctor Who, but other fandoms have this problem as well. I never feel like I have to absolutely agree with your opinions just because you have a podcast. Although I will admit it was fun to almost give Glenn a heart attack when I said I don't understand what the big deal was about Tom Baker. You're always very respectful of others' reviews and opinions on any given subject, even if you don't agree, and you still manage to have fun with it. You've kept your egos in check, is what I'm trying to say. Having been burned by many elitist and pretentious fans from various fandoms over the years, you three are a breath of fresh air, and I hope you stay that way.
I hope we do too.
I wanted to think of a topic you could discuss in case people didn't write in much feedback. I need my 2.5-hour long podcast, dang it. I think you've covered favorite
We're at
doctor.
2 right now, by the way, if anybody's counting.
What, really?
And that's not counting Dr. Phil.
No, that is counting.
That is? Okay.
Yeah, we put that in there real time. Come on, Keith.
Knowing you look at the time counter and just call it that.
Hush!
Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
Let the curtain fall.
Okay, all right, you know what?
100 episodes
I
in.
do have my errors, and I do have my mistakes, but I'm also a producer as a profession, and time is very important. So that I can look at and realize that I've got right. So, and I've only had 3 beers. So
Do you have marks in there?
Marks?
Yeah. Did you count marks too?
Well, on the
Richard?
audio.
No.
Or Carl?
Mark.
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 Mark apostrophe S.
Oh, Mark McMarmite? Yeah, I have him.
Oh, okay.
You counted that in?
You said Marks, I thought you meant
I said Mark.
Carl or Richard.
Last I heard, Karl Marx does not listen to our show.
Harpo, maybe, though.
He's dead. Pretty sure he's dead, too.
We are the biggest thing for Harpo. He sits there, he goes, I'd write in, but it would just be... There's a joke for the older set.
Oh, my God.
Why you're laughing at it, I don't know.
I once shot
It's like
an elephant in
this.
my pajamas. What he was doing in my pajamas, I'll never know.
That's a Groucho joke. That's not a
It was
Harpo
Groucho.
joke.
Yeah, but Harpo would have been...
Why don't I have a horn?
Or outside of a dog, a man is a best friend. Book is a man's best friend. Inside of a dog, it's too dark to read.
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
That's another Groucho.
Mark. He had the best one-liners.
He did.
Harpo had the best one-horners.
One honkers. You really do that well.
Thank you. There are a few things that I do well. Horn noise is one of them, apparently. I'll put that on my resume. Makes horn noise well. Really well.
All right.
Keith.
If you think you've covered Doctor Who.
Where was I?
I chimed in with the 2. We are at 2 hours.
I think you've covered
favorite Doctor.
I've lost my place. Oh, there we go. Okay, thank you. I think you've covered favorite doc. I was looking for it, but I couldn't find it. And there was a jump. She wrote a lot of words.
Well, we
here,
usually
and
try to
picking
wait for
those
the break
three
to
out-
comment,
We
but I
do.
did throw something in the middle
Wait
of
for
the
the paragraph.
paragraph.
That's like chiming in at 1. I wasn't prepared for that.
We don't do that.
No.
never.
Nah. I think you've covered favorite doctor, favorite companions, favorite episodes quite thoroughly in the past 100 weeks. But here's one for you. What's your favorite doctor-companion combination? Your favorite team TARDIS, in other words. Or, for each doctor, which companions do you think were the best fit for that doctor's personality? And you can feel free to count companions from Big Finish and the novels if you'd like. There are no right or wrong answers, of course, just your take. Do we want to do ours before she
Let's do it
announces
now.
hers?
Yeah, let's do it now.
Favorite team TARDIS.
Do we need to split it up by doctor, or...
Well, we can do
No,
team...
we're not going to run down the 7 or the 7? Yeah, the first 7 and the last.
The
We're not going to
11.
run down the 11 doctors and say which companions of each doctor. We're going to say definitively, what do you think are the best combination of...
While I agree with Chrissy a lot with her choice,
Which we don't know, because we haven't read it yet.
We haven't
But
read that yet.
I'm foreshadowing.
It's easy to
11
say-
Amy and Rory
It's
is
easy
so...
to say that when you've read
It's
it.
such a good combination.
Yeah, I knew that was going to come rolling out of your mouth.
Yeah. But 10 and...
You're
9
so
in Rose was
you're
so great.
one-dimensional, Keith. No, I'm just kidding.
10 in Rose... Or 9 in Rose was so great.
You're not thinking fourth dimensionally.
10 in Martha
Yeah, I
was
got a real
great.
problem with that.
Those Indians won't even be there.
6 in Evelyn was great.
That's mine. It's 6 and Evelyn. I think that ultimately, when it comes down to chemistry and pairing, and this is the limited amount of... Now, I've gotten a little more 6 and Evelyn than you guys even have, but coming down to the limited amount of even 6 and Evelyn that I've got, the chemistry between the two, they gel so well. They really, really are just on top of their game in everything that I hear them in. No matter how bad the story is or how good the story is, the consistency with those two. Because I can come down on Matt, Amy, and Rory probably being one of the best as far as the time team goes. However, there are those occasions where I feel like they aren't gelling. One of those enjoyable episodes is the one in the hotel.
God Complex.
God Complex. I don't feel like they gel that well because I feel like Rory's on the outside. There's a purpose for that because he's...
So it's the way it's written as
Right.
opposed
He's
to the
about
way
the
they're...
dir-
And there's a
Yeah,
lot
agreed.
of foreshadowing there.
But there are times where I don't feel that those
I
three
could
are
see
as
that.
on. Consistently. Most of the time, yes. But that's why I would rank them high. Same thing with Fourth Doctor and Sarah Jane. I think they have this most wonderful, wonderful chemistry. However, and especially early on, and that's because they're trying to get their footing, in that season...
You had to go there,
with
didn't you?
Genesis of the Daleks and
Robot, Ark in
Robot-
Space, on
they're
Fire Experiment,
they're
Genesis
still
of the Daleks,
finding their
Revenge of the
feet
Cybermen.
because even though she was with the Doctor in his third incarnation, we're still learning this new personality. And there are times where I don't think that Tom and Sarah gel as well as they do later on when they finally do find their feet. But Evelyn from the start all the way to the latest thing that I've heard with her and he have been just in sync the entire time. And I really think that they stand out among all.
Do you think that's because of the kind of brash class of personalities that both of them have,
That
being so
could be
strong-willed?
it. And that
or-
and I think that pairing somebody as anti-companion as Evelyn, because she's not the damsel in distress. She's not the young, naive companion. She's not the boding questioning. She's not the wander off and do her own thing even. I mean, she's more apt to do that, but she's not. And so having all of those qualities about herself and putting her with the most brash personality that the Doctor has ever had works so well. And I think that's why. So that would be my pick right there. Would be Evelyn and Six.
I love...
Close second would be Dr. Nace with his 7 and Ace, but even though I'm not a big fan.
I love...
It's a good pairing still.
I love
Good
Ian and
pair.
Barbara
It's a fantastic pair.
with Hartnell. I love Zoe and Jamie with Troughton. I love Joe with Pertwee. I love...
See, but Joe falls into that realm of her first 2 stories with the Third Doctor. They just didn't come off
You're
on
right.
the same.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
And I'm putting them in the mold.
They found
I'm putting
their
them in the
groove.
mold. I am putting them in the mold. They do have a chemistry. They do have an enjoyability.
Well, you can
together.
see how they grow together
Exactly,
as that time progresses.
But for just the pair that have been from the beginning.
I'm really digging Evelyn with Colin.
And I really like Charlie with 8.
I really like Charlie with 8. I really like Grace with 8. I would have liked to have seen where that might have gone.
There's another good one.
Yeah.
But it's almost like, because even though they clashed at first,
It's almost
she had this connection to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what kept him around.
Yeah, well, and what you see, whereas with somebody like Joe and the Third Doctor, where you can see how their relationship comes together after so many episodes of traveling,
yes.
you get that entire journey within an hour.
Yes.
In Doctor Who the movie with McGann and
I would
Daphne
agree with
Ashbrook.
that. I would agree
They
with that.
really set that up well. I still go Rose and Tennant. I know you're a 9. But
I'm a 9 shipper.
The thing that I can qualify
Words I never
Rose and-
thought I'd hear on this podcast.
Shipper.
The thing that I can qualify with Rose and 10 is Rose and 9 had that learning curve. They had that get to know each other phase. With 10, though, you expect the same thing that happened with Sarah Jane with 4, where we step out and we learn of a new personality with this Doctor, and we have to grow to learn them again. With 10 and Rose, from the point where he walked out of the TARDIS on the Cigarette ship, Rose connects to him from that point on.
Yeah.
You know, there's no connection the whole time that he's in bed and sick, because she's mulling over this. You know, this is a different guy. I don't understand.
yeah.
She's dealing with that, but it's because he's laid up in bed and they've got that sever that once they become the companion team again, the Doctor and companion team again, suddenly she just clicks right away. And I think she has that. And that's why
and such
she
strongly
and
reinforced, because we just did the photo challenge and Mel picked New Earth as her favorite new series episode because it's got the face of Bo and everything in it. So we wound up watching most of New Earth looking for the one shot that she wanted to take. And rewatching that from moment one. He's in there fiddling with stuff. She's outside saying goodbye to Jackie and Mickey. And then she comes running in and throws the stuff, and they're off. And they're simpatico. They're ready to go. And so you don't get that adjusted. Yeah. So, yeah, I totally see that. I
guess I see that as a carry-on from what she developed with 9.
If she hadn't gone through the distress, though, that she had between the end of Parting of Ways and about 3/4 of the way into the Christmas Invasion, had she not had that and then picked right back up. But I suppose what you're saying is the carryover is the fact that at that moment, that's when she realizes this is the same person.
Man. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I still
and the man she fell in love with was 9, and now she's continuing on with 10.
Yeah.
I agree with you that
Just
I think
be
Amy Rory
possibly
are
prettier body.
very high on that list. I disagree with you about Sarah Jane. I think if you watch season 1 of Tom Baker, that they have that.
See, I think she has that more with Pertwee.
No, I disagree. I think
I don't think she does with Pertwee either. I would agree with that. However, with Robot, they don't feel like they are gelling.
Robot is the exception.
Ark in Space, they don't feel like. That was next. Yes. Ark in Space, they don't feel like they quite have that connection.
Oh, see,
it's really not until Genesis.
Now, see, when she's crawling through the duct in Ark in Space, and she gets stuck, and he's just berating her about, you lie there blubbering. Well, and she gets out, and he can hear her. She's wedged herself loose. She's coming back through the tube, and he starts grinning because he knows that he got her, and she's all. When she comes out of the thing, she's, I don't need your help. Yes, you do. And he puts his arms around it. That moment alone is there, and that solidifies that. And I would be very, very, very hard pressed not to pick Tom Baker and Sarah Jane. And I think in a way Sarah Jane's kind of the easy pick because we've talked that she's it. But quite honestly, favorite Doctor companion pairing, Ace and Seven.
Ace and
Seven have this pure magic.
Yeah, I would
every
agree.
scene that they're in, every time they're on screen. It doesn't matter if it's audio or if it's a visual adventure. They've carried that over so well. There is no time that's passed. These are two friends that step into this, and they still progress because they go from that weird kind of awkward mentor pupil to almost being
on par with
this respect of equals. But out of all of them, I'd have to say that there's that.
Well, Chrissy's going to tell us what she did.
And Chrissy's going to, and I did peek at this, which is why I framed my answer the way I did. She says, for my favorite Team TARDIS, I would have to say Second Doctor with Jamie and Zoe, which surprised the heck out of me because I totally did not expect her to go there. 2 companions are plenty, and Zoe and Jamie fit in perfectly with the Second Doctor's friendly/paternal air. The Doctor and Zoe get along well because they were both the brains of the outfit, and the Doctor and Jamie together had a lot of heart. And when the Doctor was going off on his crazy off-the-wall schemes, Jamie and Zoe had the ability to just roll with it. All 3 seemed to have lots of fun together, and the personalities blended beautifully. My second place Team TARDIS would be 5th Doctor with Nyssa.
Oh, here we go.
Now this is where I expected her. Now this is where I expected her to go. And as I've pointed out, we've spent a lot of time.
I'm just kidding, Chris.
No, we've spent a lot of time not necessarily criticizing, but kind of talking about how you're only as strong as your companions, and maybe that's why we've been a little on uneven footing. With some
we haven't been very easy on these two either.
We really haven't. And I think it's because we don't have the same level of expertise in these audio adventures that she's specifically talking about, where it's just the 2 of them. So I'm looking forward to getting into more of them and really kind of delving into that relationship and seeing where they go with it. Yeah. Some of my favorite scenes from the 5th Doctor's era are the stuff from Arc of Infinity with just the Doctor and Nyssa repairing the TARDIS. And I love Nyssa's action scenes when she's trying to rescue the Doctor from the Time Lords. In some of the later Big Finish, there are some fantastic stories with the pair of them, and they play off each other wonderfully. Yes, they're both the brains, but not everything is pure intellect. There's some great emotion there as well. There's one scene from one Big Finish story, that I really love. The story is Primeval, and it starts off with Nyssa having gotten really sick. The doctor is worried about her, and he takes some pretty big risks to get her well again. I won't say anything else because y'all haven't reviewed that story yet, but it's one of Big Finish's hidden treasures. I think so anyway. Chrissy, I will tell you, if the schedule stays as is, which obviously could change at a moment's notice once we get word of the next season coming back, I do have Primeval on the schedule in the first quarter of next year. So I'll let that slip.
And Chrissy, I will mention that I have heard Primeval. That was one of the ones that I have listened to. And I sort of agree with where you're coming from in that particular instance. Yeah.
So we have that. Anyway, I'm glad to have found Traveling the Vortex 100 episodes ago, give or take. I think I came in around week 6. And you three are definitely the highlight of my week. No matter how many listeners you add to your list or how many fans write in to tell you how wonderful you are, and you are wonderful, in spite of my sarcasm and snark, you three are still humble and fun, and that's what makes for some enjoyable commentary, discussion, and friendships. I'm going to close this up before I get too sentimental, and Sean has to break out the tissues. And they're closed. But just know that I appreciate all you guys do, and I hope we'll be sitting here in another 100 weeks celebrating your 200th Epiversary. See you in the Vortex, Chrissy. And Chrissy, once again, kind of demonstrates why she was our early pick, and in some ways still is, #1 fan. Because she's been there from almost the beginning and championed for us at that time. And as always, has wonderful, nice things to say. Probably not all of it's deserved, but we thank her for it.
Absolutely.
Next up is Holly.
Holly from Wisconsin. Or not Glenn's Holly. I had to bring it up because we always
beat the dead horse.
All right. She writes, her title is 100 Episodes. Hey guys, congrats on a 100 episodes. Here's to 100 more. With tangents, loud bangs, Marmite. Okay, scratch the Marmite. Feedback, reviews, Scorby! And more. Thanks for doing this and making this something to look forward to each week. If I can read it right. Holly from Wisconsin. Thank you so much, Holly. Absolutely.
We'll try to keep the
Holly's been with us
loud
for
bangs
quite
too.
a while. Yeah, we got to be careful on the loud bangs. You know, we don't want to have anybody diving for cover in the middle of the supermarket.
Again.
And I love the fact she brings up the Scorby again.
Yes.
And I love the fact that Sean had to step away from the table when we did the Scorby.
Of all the people.
There he goes from the bathroom. Oh, I just told people where he was. So.
It should be obvious whenever we step away. I'm sure there's a flush in the background somewhere.
We're letting on 100 episodes in. We're letting in the secrets. So we take bathroom breaks in.
Yeah. We go around the table.
We take bathroom breaks in breaks. Here he comes.
Next shift is ready.
In shifts. That's what I was looking for.
Oh, next up. Dan, he writes in, hey guys, whoa. I still haven't gotten Whoa.
You skipped up to Dan.
Last was Holly.
Alex is next.
Alex? Did I skip Alex?
And Michelle.
Oh, I'm sorry. I jumped too far. I jumped too high up.
We do have an order for you guys, even though we haven't listened to these or read them.
I jumped too high up.
I just assumed he was going in the order he determined.
No.
My order.
We're going in the order that the feedback determined this week. Keith usually does determine. So. Yes, Keith does usually determine this, but we're
usually it's still by the order received.
We're going. Well, we're just divulging all secrets.
More behind the curtain. Okay, Alex writes in. He says, triple digits. Hello, guys. Alex here. I'm afraid to say that once again, I've ended up a few weeks behind on listening to the podcast. I do, however, have a good excuse this time.
So happy 98th podcast.
Apparently. I've been very much wrapped up in NaNoWriMo this month.
Oh, good for you.
And I haven't had a whole lot of spare time outside of writing because of that.
I'm sure he's probably put down more words than Sean this month.
Sean, I believe you're doing NaNoWriMo as well. How's your novel coming along?
Oh, thank you not to bring up such a sensitive subject.
I'm a couple thousand words behind right now.
How many?
Oh,
Couple thousand.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm there.
But I fully intend to get back on track.
Quadruple thousand behind.
And hit 50K before next Friday.
Will you hit 50K before next Friday, Sean?
Possibly. It's gonna take a pretty mighty push. I did not get. I didn't get any writing done this weekend.
At all?
At all.
Oh.
I was really looking forward to this holiday weekend.
So how many are you supposed to do a day?
You have to average somewhere in the neighborhood about 1,600.
So you've
words, 'cause
got
it's-
3,200.
More
this
than
weekend
that,
alone.
because he's talking 4 day.
Oh, you're talking the 4-day weekend.
Yeah, I took a 4-day
What's
weekend
4
and I didn't
times
get to anything.
1,600?
Hold on, I'm going to the
Keep
calculator.
looking for a calculator. Nobody knows what 4 times 16 is?
4,000 some.
6,400.
Okay,
6,400
6,400. Yeah,
No,
I
it's 16,000 words.
16,000.
So it's 64,000.
64,000.
words.
I thought
No,
it was
well, no.
1,600.
Not 16. That's
He said
6,400
1,600.
words. Did you say 1,600
It's
words?
1,600.
Oh, so it is 6,400. I'm
yeah.
sorry. Okay,
Yeah, no, he's right.
Stand
'Cause
corrected.
at-
You are right.
At the end of the month, you're supposed to have a 50,000 word novel.
Oh, gotcha.
So,
gotcha.
that's it. If I were to cheat and include stuff that was written prior to the month starting, I'm sitting
Wait,
at
you're continuing a novel?
yes,
you're not starting new.
I didn't start a new novel.
Well,
I'm
he said, I'll give him this. He said 4 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, he came out and said, I'll be honest, I'm continuing a novel that I
Well,
started.
then you only have to get half of
and
it.
we encouraged, we encourage that because it's him finishing something that he's been trying to do.
Well, and that's my problem is I'm great at starting things and I'm horrible at finishing them. So I may not be here for the 200th
That's what
anniversary.
all his girlfriends have said.
Oh!
See, that one didn't bother me. If he said I had horrible taste in movies, and that's why I don't like to talk about that as a joke. Because he's wrong. But, I liked the money bit. Actually, no, I didn't.
It insists upon itself.
Yeah.
See? Got the joke this week.
Yeah, well, I figure if I ram it home
Well,
often enough.
Or just throw me the punchline.
If I cheat and include the stuff that I've written previously, I'm probably at about 40,000 words. So, not too bad. But, yeah, I have not been... school has really, really, really interfered with my ability to just sit down and write. And I'll be honest...
November's not a good month to do this.
November's a really bad month to do this. I really
as bad
think.
as December would be.
It's kind of like trying to start a photo challenge.
Why do they
in
do
November.
it in November?
I don't know.
That's weird.
It's one of those things that every year I've thought about.
I don't have anything going on in November, so I could easily... No, I couldn't easily do this because I can write news stories in short spurts. I could not sit down and write a novel
write 50,000
in 1
words
month.
of news stories.
Yeah, absolutely.
We do
You
that.
give me a 50,000 words, and I'm sure we've written more than that this month. But
Yes.
if you sit down and had me do a novel, 50,000 word novel in this amount of time, no, I couldn't do it. It's not a simple thing. So I totally admire the fact that you've gotten done what you've gotten done.
Anyone who's even attempted this.
On the flip side of
For
that,
anybody out there taking part in it.
on the flip side of that, November is a good month for me because, with the exception of the election that we had at the beginning of the month, my month's been pretty clear, nothing going on. Might have made the month go faster so that Disney World would get here quicker.
Or Christmas.
But yeah, the good news is that
I'm shooting for Disney World right now. And Christmas will come after that. Oh, and Keith's
It's
hiccups
back.
have returned.
peanut butter. The good news I can say is that I've been. That's two. You go get your peanut butter now. He's not even arguing. He's up. He's crossing the room. He's into the kitchen.
He can't even be one of those people that's quiet when they do them. Sometimes it's just the little, or the, just but his is the. He's got this unique sound of it.
I shouldn't talk about it.
I wish I
because-
could do it.
I shouldn't talk about mine because the minute I talk about them, I'll get them.
Well, they
and
are
I feel very
contagious.
fortunate that I have not yet.
They are contagious.
Because I have very violent diaphragm.
Oh, I do too. Oh, and I hate the worst thing in the world for me is to have hiccups because I get them violently and it hurts
Yes,
my
it's
diaphragm.
painful.
In fact, I feel like I've done 1,000 crunches after I've had
Yeah.
them. Oh, you're in the same
Yeah,
boat.
I'm in the same boat. And when I get them, I get the initial of the up, and then apparently my body thinks it's time to belch because I make that noise afterward,
Oh,
even though
no,
it's not.
see, I don't have to belch.
But that's not what I'm doing. But that's what the interior is
gotcha.
all shaking around. And
See,
doing.
because
So
mine
it's
does
just really bad.
the hiccup. I do the initial, but then it's so violent that might be good. I let out the because
Yeah.
I mean it's the pain.
It hurts
It's
so
the
much, yeah.
I hate
Mine are
hiccups.
not painless.
Fortunately, there's your painful as well. But fortunately,
We're not dismissing
I
your
do
pain.
not.
We're dismissing your sound
Fortunately,
effects.
I do not get the
sound effect
hiccups
may
very
not.
often. That's the fortunate thing.
You
about
better knock on wood right now.
it. Thanks for that tangent.
But yeah, the one good thing I can say about the NaNoWriMo is that I had been stuck on this novel for a while. It's weird because I know where I'm going with it eventually, but I don't know how to get there from where I'm at. And being forced to sit down and actually put fingers on keyboard and try and plow something through. And that's kind of the thing with it is it doesn't matter if it's good. Just write. Write gibberish. Write junk. Write horrible. You can edit later. Just get the words down on paper is kind of the focus of this. And so forcing myself into that mode and trying, because that's where I really bogged down, is I'm not a... I don't get to do that very often. And when it comes, it's very stream of consciousness and it goes, but I fight to get there. And fighting through that block to get there, I suddenly figured out where I need to go from here. So I have the roadmap again, which is fantastic. But it's just been coming in very small chunks, unfortunately. Yeah. So I hope yours is going better.
Well, it sounds like if he's going to get hit 50,000
He's
before
hoping
next
to.
Friday. That's...
He also says, I'm very sorry I haven't been participating in your 30-day Doctor Who photo challenge. Once again, I pin the blame on Nano.
And understandable.
It's a shame because I've seen the list of challenges for each day and it all sounds like so much fun. On the other hand, I'm an awful photographer, so maybe it's for the best, eh?
So is Sean. But
Hey.
Hey,
I'm just kidding. Well, I got a little bit of an ire out of that.
a little bit.
I'm going to throw this out there. For anybody who feels like November is just a horrible month for this and you can't do it,
Start it next month.
start it next month.
Start
I mean,
in
it doesn't
January.
have to be...
That could be
You
your
don't
New
have
Year's
to do-
resolution.
yeah,
I'm going to
yeah.
do the Doctor Who photo challenge in January.
You know, that's
Maybe I'll do it again in January
Yeah.
because I'm enjoying it
There
so
you go.
much.
I may go ahead and do
And
it
I'm
again
keeping up
next
with
month
it.
just because I've got a whole different choice of
You know
alternate
what?
choices.
I'm going to do it again next month as well because I have saved all of mine and I'm just going to repost them.
Oh, that's cheating. Alternate choices.
Cheaters tactics. This is my other favorite.
Alternate choices I would be okay with.
Oh, yeah, I'd be fine.
This is the other best.
But yeah, I mean, this is the beauty of our website. At this point, we don't have any plans to go away, barring the Mayan
End of the
apocalypse. And if that happens, you only have to post 21 of them. So, yeah, not a big deal. Just pick 21 you like. Don't even do them in order. We've been really lax with the rules here.
Who's going to be here to
Yeah.
chide you for it?
So I just, if you enjoy the concept of it, I say do it.
Oh,
don't
absolutely.
wait for an organization. Maybe you'll start one.
Or do it all in one day.
Post all 30 of them at once.
Yes.
That would be awesome.
You know how tempted I've been to jump ahead?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because you think of things that it's like, oh, I know what I want to do for that.
Oh, that's next week.
Maybe I should do it now because otherwise I might not get to it
Yeah.
next week. Yeah.
Or I might forget. Okay, he continues. Because all of that, I haven't listened to any of your November episodes yet, which means I won't be able to catch up in time for your massive 100th Epiversary. Despite
Turning
that,
massive.
I thought it would be silly for me to miss out on the opportunity to send you guys some special feedback for your landmark episode. So here I am, and here I go. Quite simply, you...
Sorry, I just popped into my head. Don't know why.
Quite simply, you guys are my favorite podcasters of all time and space. Traveling the Vortex is always a pleasure to listen to, and being able to share opinions on the Whoniverse and listen to the opinions of others really lightens up my day every time I tune in. I absolutely love the show and the community of lovely people who write in to support it. I've hugely enjoyed the first 100 weeks of traveling with you, and I'm looking forward to 100 more. Thanks for all you've done in the Who community. The Humunity? And congrats on hitting triple digits. Now that that's done, I'll let you get back to your regularly scheduled scheduling of tangents and occasional references to Doctor Who. Thanks again and happy travelings. Alex.
Thank you, Alex.
Thanks, Alex. Another early listener
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alex.
who's stuck with us
Alex has been around the
for a
block
very
few
long
times.
time.
One of the things I wanted to touch on just briefly
What
is
does that mean?
What? Been around the
Been
block?
around the block a few times.
He's old.
But really, what does that mean? I mean, I
You-
know what
you've
it
been
means.
around the
I know
block
what
a
we,
few times.
I know what you use it in reference to, but where does that come from?
Oh, I don't
Have
know.
you ever
I
wondered
don't know
about
the
that?
nomenclature
Been
of that one.
around the block a few times. Huh.
You want me to Google it?
No.
You can IMDb it.
I can wiki it.
Source of all knowledge. Something that I just want to touch on briefly. What Alex said is the support of all the people who write in and support us.
That's really, I think, what makes us
Really,
Yeah.
the key here, because all these people write in and they all say, you're the highlight of my week. You're something I do look forward to. And I can be honest, this is the highlight of my
Yeah,
week.
feedback is the highlight of my week.
Well, just
Mine
in
too.
general, the podcast.
Yeah.
I look forward to Sunday nights when we sit down and record. That's kind of the.
I would agree.
As of
I
yet,
equally look forward to Friday Night Who.
yeah. Well, as of yet, there have been a couple where we've been cramming in some audio stories last minute.
I don't know, Keith. I see you all week long. I don't
Well,
know. Sometimes Friday nights. A
I
little
don't
much.
necessarily want you to show up to Friday Night
Oh,
Who.
thanks. So I did you a favor this week, is what you're saying.
I look forward to watching Doctor Who, not necessarily getting together with you guys.
I enjoy tweeting along for Friday Night Who.
Okay, all right.
With the safety of a computer screen between me and you. Digital conversation. But I just, despite the fact there have been a couple of, oh man, I've got homework to do for traveling the Vortex, this hasn't felt like a job yet. It's not become a chore.
Absolutely
it's
not.
not.
No.
So
In fact,
it's-
I can't believe we're 100 weeks.
Oh, I
into
know.
this
I
thing.
know. It's just insane.
There's been very few instances where I felt like, oh, I've got to get this done.
Yeah.
One of early on when we were trying to jam in so many
Yeah.
classic
Back
without
before
Friday
we-
Night Who.
We've learned
before,
from our mistakes.
Back before we knew
and
what we were doing.
even still, Shada to a little bit felt like, oh, I've got to
We
jam
did a
all
big
this in.
bulk, Yeah.
And that's the only instances.
But we didn't give you 1 week to do that.
That's true.
like we have some things in the past.
That's true.
Silurian archive.
That's my defense.
That was your one Achilles
the,
heel.
the Silurian Archive and the
Which
the
was the
Cybermen
first
Archive
time we came up with our new open.
were both ones, because the Silurian, obviously we did Earthshock, which was our Friday Night Who, and we did or that was the Cybermen one. We did Invasion, which was 8 parts. And then we
Really,
did
most
two
of the
Cybermen.
early ones, yeah.
So that was oh man, there was a lot of work there. And then the Silurian one with Silurians and Warriors of the Deep, which
And
was
Sea Devils, which you never
and
got
Sea
to.
Devils, which I never got to. That was
I
I'd like
started.
to bring that up every
I
time.
know.
You didn't get to it.
I didn't get to it, but I watched it on Friday
At
night
least I
Who
started it.
on the re-release, on the repeat.
Yes, you did. You finally got to it.
I put it on the
He's seen
schedule
it.
as a rerun specifically for that. But yeah, those are the two just massive ones that I remember us going, oh, what did we bite off here? And for some reason, it still took twice before I figured out.
That was
you
in
know
the
what?
early stages.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, just the fact that people, for me, it's still fun.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I'm
it
glad that
absolutely
everybody
is.
enjoys it as much as I do, because that means hopefully that something's going right.
Agreed.
Sorry, I didn't mean to tangent. Yeah, I did. I
Yes, you
totally
did.
meant to hijack that.
That was a less of a tangent than we've had.
That was a minor tangent compared to some.
Next
Light
up
bulbs.
is Michelle.
Oh, that's mine. I was ready. I got distracted by another piece of email. Michelle says,
Ooh, piece of candy.
yeah.
Piece of candy. Shiny. Piece of candy.
Michelle says, hey guys, happy 100th Epiversary. Has it really been almost a year since I sent in feedback suggesting the word Epiversary to you after listening to you argue about how to refer to your 50th episode?
I was thinking of that the other day. I was thinking somebody coined that phrase, and it was not us.
It was not us.
It was Michelle.
My, how time flies when you're traveling the Vortex. I've been re-listening to some of your old episodes. Oh, God, why? I know, she didn't say that. I did. Oh, well, she goes on. I know you guys don't really understand why people would do that. Ding.
I went back just to listen to the first few to find out when we started our open, and that was enough.
We're like the Never Happy record producers. We're like the Beatles. We went back and listened to the first record and went,
We're George Lucas.
oh, God! Can we release special editions of the first 50? Traveling the Vortex 25, Electric Boogaloo.
Well, we had that
Special
title
edition.
already.
Well, that's the special edition.
Okay.
Now with Minox. Actually, we could go back and remarket. We could rebrand all of our previous podcasts as Now with Higgs Particle. Because it'd be accurate. Nobody could dispute that one.
Keith shot first.
Where were we? I know you guys understand why people do that, but I got my reasons, which he goes on to list us. Good. 1. At the end of May, beginning of June, I made the decision to watch all of Doctor Who in order, from An Unearthly Child to whatever the latest episode happened to be when I finished. I've recently reached the RTD Moffat years.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
From May to June, how much of a...
It's
No,
wait, no, it's November, Sean.
No, but that's what I mean. I mean,
No.
starting
No. She's saying at the end of May
in the
or
beginning
of
of
June, somewhere around there.
I get that.
Oh, I thought you were saying she watched it from May to June.
No.
That's not what she's saying.
No.
Okay, got you.
Well, I mean, Mel and I watched all 22...
But from June till today, yes.
Mel and I watched all 22 Bond films from
Even
June
May
to
from
today, and
today.
that was an undertaking. So, I mean, this is 50 years of television.
Yeah, to be fair, 49.
That's a lot. Well, okay, 49. Thanks for...
Hey, we just celebrated the 49th anniversary.
We did. That was Friday.
Yeah.
Yes, Black Friday.
Black Friday was... I'm not going there.
It was happy anniversary Doctor Who Day.
It's Happy Anniversary Doctor Who Day. Wow, that is... Must have the Constitution of... No, I'm not going to... I've decided to listen to the episodes where you review those because, 2, you guys keep me company at work. I had some things I wanted to bring up from that, but I've forgotten most of them. So I'll just tell you about the Doctor Who convention I went to last week.
Yes.
Regeneration. I was cosplaying Romana from the Horns of Nimon. Okay, wait, now I have to think which one was
Well,
Romana.
scroll
from
up
Horns of
and you'll
Nimon.
see the
Or
costume.
or
that she's
scroll
in.
down.
Or yeah, it's down for you. I'm using an iPad, so it's up for me.
Oh, the hunting Romana.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
the hunting outfit.
Okay,
Cool costume.
it is.
That
very
is a
nice.
very good
That's a very
costume.
nice
That's a
show.
very good Horns
We're
of
going to
Nimon
share that
Romana.
on the website.
We
right?
are. We will have that.
And I got a ride from my boyfriend's parents, who were going to the ROM, the Royal Ontario Museum, in Toronto. We left at about 10:30 a.m. and got to Toronto. We parked at Yorkdale Mall to take the subway to where we were going. Once I got to my stop, I still had to walk a couple of blocks to get to the convention, which I did, stopping at the bank to get some money, so I wouldn't have to worry about that or the additional charge once I got to the hotel where the convention was.
Good plan.
Good plan. When I got to the hotel, I met a girl who I had first met at Fan Expo Canada, who also cosplays Romana from City of Death. And we talked for a bit, and she told me where to go to register. I went upstairs and registered, and then went to my first panel, Who is the Doctor?, with the 2 authors of a book by the same name, which I own, and was hoping to get signed at the convention. They talked about how they got into Doctor Who, their hopes for the 50th anniversary next year, and a book that they are publishing, which will be out in November, and is the 50 stories they think every Whovian should watch before they die. Ooh, that sounds cool.
I'll have to get a copy of that.
I have actually an idea. I'll share this with you off mic. Cool. I thought of this on the way over. I'm doing Vortex homework in the car. Anyways, I got my copy of their book signed with a comment on my cosplay by them, and then I went to the Inner Space panel, where I met Cynthia Loyst and Teddy Wilson, and got their autographs, and got my Doctor Who trivia, where I owned. Did I skip a thing?
Yep.
Got my
got my picture taken with them attached, and talked with them a bit about being a Doctor Who fan. After the Inner Space panel, I went to Doctor Who trivia, where I owned. Sorry, I spoiled the surprise on that. Seriously, there were 23 other fans, and I won. It started off with 6 teams of 4, with teams being eliminated if they got 2 questions wrong. Once it was down to the final team, mine, we were split up, and each had to answer a question. I was the only one who got their question right. The question I had to answer was, in Curse of Fatal Death, who were the 5 actors who played the Doctor and who wrote it? I also won 2 additional prizes for answering 2 more questions correctly, and was told I was not allowed to answer the final question, or I would have won the prize for that too. I also spent quite a bit of time in the dealer's room, about $200 worth of stuff. If you want, I can take pictures of everything I got, including my trivia prizes, and send them to you and post on the website.
Yes, Michelle, send them our way.
I would love to see those
We'll
pictures.
probably put them in a
absolutely.
separate post than this podcast comes out in, but I'd love to see them. That's fantastic.
Now, she signs off here, Michelle. Now, I was kind of waiting for the... And I owe all my success in trivia to Traveling the Vortex. Because we covered Curse of Fatal Death extensively.
That we did.
But if she's been watching in order, she just happened to put that in her rotation. And
I suppose it was
well, it's not canon, so maybe she didn't.
I'm totally taking credit for it.
Michelle, I totally dig your costume here, too. This looks
That's a
fantastic.
great
Awesome.
costume.
It is
Awesome
great.
cosplay costume.
And these guys are the guys that wrote not the trivia book, as Sean got me confused on.
No.
They wrote... This is Cynthia, Loyst, and Teddy Wilson.
Doesn't say what they wrote. I think
It doesn't say.
the names are familiar, though. Keith
The
Emberbottom.
inner space panel is where she went to get there. But anyway, yeah,
Gosh,
this is
they
a
look familiar.
That's a terrific costume.
That
I
is
love
a
that.
great costume.
Great job, Michelle. And we'll post that on the website as well.
And if you send us more pictures.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely want to see more from...
Put 'em up.
and what is this, Regeneration? From Regeneration.
Yes.
Generation in Toronto.
I want to know what the Royal Ontario Museum is.
Well, it can't be near as interesting as a Doctor Who convention.
No, I'm sure it isn't.
All right. Sorry, anybody in Canada that might be listening.
All right, next up, Dan. I tried to jump ahead.
I just went with a whole nationality. They insulted. I didn't insult an entire ethnic community.
Humanity sucks. I just covered my bases
He
there.
just got it all. Dan
Dan
writes,
which I tried to jump
a
in.
little bit of a blurb here
little
because he's going to send audio feedback. But here, he says, "Hi guys, I still haven't got my laptop back to where it was before the drive crash. If everybody remembers, he had a hard drive crash. I don't know if we mentioned that.
It's because Dr. Phil was driving.
Oh.
Kidding.
He goes on to say, I think my recording levels are a bit low. But you know what? I can fix that, Dan. Hopefully you can use it. As always, you be the judge. And anyway, happy Epiversary. And here's what Dan has to say.
Hey guys, it's Dan in Central Illinois. Happy 100th Epiversary. I was trying to remember back when I actually started listening to you guys. I remember Dr. Phil posting on Get Glue about another podcast in the Midwest, so I figured I better tune in. And it's been nothing but fun ever since. Anywhere from the conversations of the Cyber King to the Sonic Screwdrivers to the Doctor Who photo challenge you got going on, which I'm still starting to lag behind again, but we'll get caught up. And all the wonderful tangents you guys go into that seems to fit every other interest that I'm into anyway. So, but the only thing I haven't heard you guys get into is Godzilla, but I assume that day is coming. So, otherwise, the James Bond, Star Trek, Muppets, just keep them coming. Makes fun for a little bit of interjection in all the different realms. I'll be curious to hear if you've got any feedback from Chicago TARDIS this year. The wife and I were considering going, but we went to Chicago 2 weeks ago and ended up shopping away our Chicago TARDIS budget. So hopefully Dr. Phil can save us there too. We are definitely planning on trying to go next year because the 50th anniversary falls right during the Chicago TARDIS weekend, or at least very close to it. So anyway, looking at the clock, I realize you guys are probably going to be starting to record your show here pretty quick, so probably ought to go ahead and cut this short. Wish you guys a slightly belated Happy Thanksgiving, and I'm sure I'll be giving you feedback and talking to you on Friday Night Who's here a time or two, but just in case, happy holidays all the way around, and we'll check in with you guys later. Again, happy Epiversary, and back to the show.
Thanks, Dan.
Yeah,
Thank you, Dan.
absolutely. Absolutely. And yes, Phil had us covered on the Chicago TARDIS, so, but I'm kind of sad you guys didn't get to go this year.
Sounds like it was a great time. And you bring up an interesting point that, yes...
Sounds like shopping was a great time, too.
No.
At least I hope so.
Shopping's never a good time unless it's stuff you want.
He didn't say it wasn't stuff he
Yeah,
didn't
no
want.
kidding. It's not like you're sitting
Black
like his
Friday.
wife dragged him
His wife
around or
dragged him
something.
out, I could tell.
No.
He brings up an interesting point that next year Chicago TARDIS is that's pretty much going to fall right on the
50th.
On that 50th. So
Yeah.
we are also tentatively making plans to go next year.
We're shooting for it.
I think Chicago TARDIS is going to be huge next year.
Could be.
I'm making that prediction now.
Okay. Well, you got Sylvester McCoy right at Galley, so
I think it's going to be bigger than Galley.
we'll see.
Bigger guests, at least. Next up, Grammy Award-winning feedbacker, Brenda.
Very good, Keith.
Thank you.
Brenda writes, Grumpy Sick Bear checking in.
Oh, no.
Happy 100th Epiversary to the Vortex gang. I've been a bad fan lately, and for that I apologize. No entries for the photo challenge, no feedback, no tweets or Friday Night Who. In short, silence from Atlanta. It's kind of like The Walking Dead. My hoped-for quiet time never quite materialized earlier in the month, and I had no relevant comments to contribute. I had planned to make a grand comeback this week with witty comments for the big feedback episode, but when I finally started slowing down last week, germs had a chance to catch up with me. Hence, I've spent the last week with a bad fever and bronchitis, unable to put together more than 3 words in any sort of intelligible sentence. I'm finally on the mend, but still devoid of creativity. So this is my lame contribution to your episode. Sorry.
Well, Brenda, I'm glad you're on the mend.
I'm glad you're on the mend. I do, however, want to make a couple of observations about the Christmas episode, prequel, and trailer. First, lighten up, guys. We go without new Who for so long every year, and then we finally get some. And you pick it apart and whine that it isn't as good as the best we've seen in the past. Not
That's
everything
true.
can be a masterpiece, but I trust the Moff to take us on a memorable journey. I'm willing to wait until December 25th to see what he ultimately gives us. Patience, lads.
I agree.
She
and
gives
I
a
think
great
that's,
point.
I think that's why the trailer has me most excited about it. I felt that the prequel was a little lackluster, but I might have been a little hard on it last week. But I do trust that Moff is going to take us on a... I do believe that Moff is going to take us on a fantastic ride. And even in the worst
Steven,
of
we
this season,
trust.
in which I consider the... Western episode with an android to be the weakest, I still thoroughly enjoyed that episode, and I still thoroughly enjoyed this season, and I don't think we're going to be disappointed come December 25th.
To be fair, I was at Walmart today, and I saw... No, I was at Target
To be
yesterday.
fair, I was at Walmart today.
I was at Target yesterday, and I saw the DVD case for
Glenn?
Jack Frost. I saw the DVD case for Jack Frost.
The Michael Keaton one?
Doesn't look anything like it,
Doesn't
does
look
it?
anything like the Snowman. does it?
Add teeth. Add sharp teeth. That's it.
No, that's not being fair. It's not like you're. It's like you're defending your own comment. To be fair, no.
To be fair, I'm right.
To me,
To be fair, I'm right.
And this is the thing.
No.
You're not right at all.
no,
These,
not at all.
These snowmen are slim and scary, and the Jack Frost, Michael Keaton snowman is big and fat
pudgy
and slow.
kind
and
of cute. I mean, cutesy
No.
face. No, he's got kind of a cutesy face. Now,
I thought his
not
face was
adorable.
creepy.
Not like I wanted to go up and pinch his cheeks and go, "Oh, squishy marshmallow face." But but he's got this kind of a cute
Like you want
look
to do
to
with
him.
He's not a Slovene cute.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
See, I brought that all the way back. All the way back.
Yeah, the snowmen in the snowmen. The snowmen! I wouldn't pinch them cheeks.
No.
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 Jack Frost, maybe. I might punch him in the face, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't put my.
Why, Michael Keaton?
Why? I wouldn't do that with the snowmen because I'd be afraid they'd gnaw my hand off. These are scary snowmen. Keith, I'm sorry, you're wrong.
We'll see. We'll see. Brenda continues with...
Brenda, you're absolutely right. Second, I want to point out that the Doctor was briefly wearing Amy's glasses in the trailer. If he does indeed incorporate them as a new costume piece, then I note that I called it in my feedback on Angels Take Manhattan. Personally, I think they look cool. So again, happy Epiversary, and I apologize for taking the grumpy bear role this week. Guess I'm still feeling the effects of all the medicine I've consumed over the past week. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. I thank you for giving me such a memorable way to spend part of my work commute each week. Cheers. Brenda in Atlanta.
Thank you, Brenda.
Thank you as always, Brenda. And you're absolutely right. You did call that in your feedback about Angels. That
And I don't think she was very grumpy bear.
No.
No.
Lana's grumpy, but sometimes it's Sean's been in this show.
Or Glenn.
I've never been grumpy.
Or Keith. I mean, God.
You've been grumpy.
We've all been grumpy.
No,
Grumpy
I'm
Bird
always rosy-cheeked and smiling and happy to be here. Unless you bring up Paul Haggis.
Or his taste in films. There goes that little vein on his temple. It's fucking out again.
You want a piece of me, Bartley? It's right now. Throw down, you and me.
That's how we're going to end the 100th anniversary.
The fight breaks
with a
out.
fist fight.
You should call this episode Fisticuffs. That'd throw him. Wait, what?
How did it all end? Anybody remember how Traveling Vortex ended? Yeah, they went out with a bang. They only went 100 episodes. They beat the crap out of each other.
There were sirens.
Does anybody remember the explosions? It was...
And now, Explosions by Michael Bay. I would so totally see that movie.
Explosions by Michael Bay.
Explosions by Michael Bay.
Isn't that about the substance of any of his films?
There's
no plot. It's all explosions.
Have you seen the Robot Chicken spoof?
No.
It's a fake trailer on Robot Chicken called Explosions by Michael Bay, and it's just things blowing up.
No, I haven't seen it.
It is the greatest.
Brilliant.
I have YouTube it. I have high praise.
I will do that.
Michael Bay presents Explosions, and that's how they trailer it.
The last bits. We're going to sign off, but our feedback ends in true tangent fashion.
Oh, wait a minute. Are we going to talk about what's coming up next week on the...
Oh, okay, next
We
week.
always do that. Come on.
What's next week? Well, we didn't start it as normal. Why end it as normal?
Good night, everybody.
How do we used to end the show? Have we always done cheers? Good night, everybody?
I think
Be
so.
seeing ya? Oh, okay.
I didn't.
You didn't go...
I didn't go that far. I just listened to the
stand that much of the
Believe me, I did not listen to that much of the podcast to find out what we did. You are aware there's a little knob on there. You can fast forward.
I am aware of that.
Okay.
Sean, what do we got coming up on the schedule?
Well, next week on the schedule, this is our homework assignment for all of you listening out there on your iPods and your hula hoop radio things and transistors and whatnot. Where to go?
Transistor radios, really?
Transistor radios. Have you not seen those? The whole
I know what they are.
Owned a transistor radio.
That's what
I don't think anybody uses them anymore, especially not to get us.
or your weather radio, or
Well, if you're trying to get us on a transistor radio, you've got the
or if you're listening in on your
wrong
fillings.
band.
Fillings, really.
Yeah.
Didn't you know that? You can get radio transmissions on your
But
fillings.
we're not transmitting on the radio.
You're right, but you can get transmissions on your fillings.
Somewhere out there, somewhere, there's a radio station broadcasting us. Guaranteed.
Guarantee?
Guaranteed.
Wow.
Wow.
Money back if you can
Where's
prove
that
him wrong.
kickback?
Money
For
back if you
radio.
can prove Sean wrong.
I want some money from the advertisement.
We advertise?
No, the advertisement that airs during us.
What makes you think they have errors? Air ads. Ad errors.
Wow, it's a late night.
What's next?
A fetish. Next week, one that I won't be able to talk bad about at all. For Friday
we've
night.
already pimped this. Go
Sure.
ahead.
No, we got to.
That's going to do it for this
No,
week.
we got to talk about this part. We're doing Invisible Enemy with Tom Baker for Friday Night Who.
We are?
Yes. And then our review is not The Invisible Enemy with Tom Baker. It's Sarah Jane Adventures Season 3. So you've got a week.
Wait, so does K9 come back for that one?
No, but the doctor does.
Oh! Yeah,
Oh,
that's
actually,
true.
I think K9 does.
I'm sure K9 does, too. He makes a
should I
cameo in
spoil
every
it?
season. No!
No.
Shush.
Okay, so you know that one scene where that plasma fire
Blah,
hits
blah,
him
blah, blah, blah,
and
blah,
he
blah, blah, blah,
melts?
blah, blah, blah,
When the
blah, blah,
Valley
blah,
Yard
blah.
comes in and knocks his head off.
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
Keith's going to be so angry.
So mad.
Oh, hi, Keith.
Hi. I don't believe anything you guys say.
I'm totally... For Halloween next year, I'm getting a tombstone. And on it, I'm putting 11th Doctor and K9.
Oh, that's just mean.
And I'm going to hang it outside your door and watch you cry when you come out in the morning.
That's just mean.
Yeah, it is.
This season features the wedding of Sarah Jane Smith.
That's right.
Which also features Matt Smith as
No.
the Doctor. Oh, no. Sorry. It does
It features David Tennant.
It features
David Tennant as the Doctor.
Apparently, according to the
I'm getting ahead of
DVD
myself
case, the last scenes he filmed as the Doctor. According to the DVD case of Sarah Jane Adventures.
Technically
Some
inaccurate.
of them were, yes. Yeah. Some of them
Actually,
were.
I'm going to flat out say the DVD case is wrong.
Yeah.
It is the last thing that he did this scene after all of his shooting for Doctor Who was done properly.
Then that's...
But
But what it says is
no,
true.
No, it wasn't. Because the last thing he filmed as the Doctor was the BBC Christmas bumper that had the TARDIS buried in snow, and he comes out and starts digging with a shovel, and then the next scene is him, and he hitches it up to the reindeer and rides off. That was the last thing
That
he
was
actually
before
did.
this?
That was after.
Yeah,
that
it
was
was
the last
after.
thing he
Or
did.
after.
Yeah. And I got that confirmed, and now, of course, I can't think of the guy's name, but the director of that was at Galley, and he talked about that was the last thing. That's why I got that picture on the wall that he signed. Richard, is it
Interesting.
Richard? I don't remember. Anyway, that was the last thing he filmed.
He went on to direct actual episodes, too.
He did, yeah. Good stuff. Anyway, so Sarah Jane Adventure Season 3. There's the benefit of these is there's 13 some odd episodes.
12.
12 episodes in a season,
12
but because
episodes.
they're two-parters, you're really
6
only
stories.
watching 6 stories. So, you can knock that over this week. But I've already started. I'm halfway through the season, as a matter of fact. Just watched the Wedding of Sarah Jane Smith. I'm not going to talk about it. The next week, for Friday night, we're doing The Sunmakers, also with Tom Baker. And
Also with K9?
Also with K9, and then we're doing
Well,
a
you
companion
don't say.
archive on K9. So we're going to talk Invisible Enemy and Sunmakers. We'll do both reviews the following week. And then Glenn goes on holiday.
That's right, yeah.
Oh, I guess I better start my book.
Big
So, yeah,
WDW
for you and I,
week.
it's time for the book reviews.
Guess I had to show you how to record this show, too.
You might want to get to that at some point there.
I have an
Chief.
idea.
I think you'll be right.
For Friday Night Who, the 14th of December, we're doing Pandorica Opens The Big Bang with Matt Smith, because you won't be here. Not that we're doing that because you won't be here, but just because we're
You can
picking
do
something
that.
that...
You can do that because I'm not here.
It's New Who. You're not going to come anyway. Keith and I are doing book reviews. So if you want to try and follow along at home with the book reviews, once again, I'm doing Touched by an Angel.
No, I'm doing Touched by an Angel.
Sorry, Keith's doing Touched by an Angel. I have not started my
He
book
doesn't
yet.
remember what he's doing.
You know it and I know it. Yellow Dog doesn't know what town he lives in. Yellow Dog, right
And
here.
what story are you doing, Sean?
I'm doing a... Will you go get some peanut butter?
I did. It's back.
Oh, go get some more.
This is like the third time. What story are you doing, Sean?
What are you doing? Let's
I'm
wrap
do-
this up so the hips can go away.
Somebody else looking all away.
Hiccups.
Can you do that one more time in English and in the correct order, please?
Nope.
I'm doing Apollo 23.
Oh, yes, he's got it right this week because he kept saying 19 last week.
Yeah. Who
Who
corrected?
called? I think it was Dan, wasn't it? Was
No,
it Dan
I
that
don't
called
think it
us
was.
out?
Oh, yeah, it was Dan.
Yeah.
I think it was Dan. I don't know. I don't remember.
Somebody tweeted
Somebody-
us and said,
somebody corrected
Isn't that Apollo 23?
Yeah, it's Apollo 23 by Justin Richards. Keith's doing Touched by an Angel by Jonathan Morris.
Keith's got the hiccups.
Keith's got the hiccups.
Again.
So you've got there's a lot of homework coming up, kids. You got Sarah Jane Adventure Season 3 and 2 books to read if you want to stick with us on those. And then after that, I'll go ahead and spoil this. We're doing The Time Monster the week after that with John Pertwee.
We are?
By request. Because I think,
Whose
I
request?
think it might have been Dan, actually. Who was it that requested that?
Go drink some water or something.
Well, now that Keith's gone from the table, I'm Sean.
I'm Glenn.
I'm Keith.
Rats, he made it back. I have to wait till he gets further away. Are you in pain? Those look painful.
Almost.
Glenn and I are sitting here laughing at your discomfort.
Thanks. You're good friends.
He hiccups like a girl.
And there it is. I was wondering if we'd go the full 100 without a complete breakdown. And the answer is no. It's still hiccuping.
Oh, wow.
Survey says.
Oh, wow. All right, so that's what you got coming up.
I don't remember who requested it, but somebody wrote in when we were talking about favorite stories and whatnot, and said specifically Time Monster.
I do remember you say. Yeah, I do remember seeing that in feedback.
I think it might have been Dan, but if I'm wrong, please correct me. Whoever did request that, Dan, if it was you, please say, "Yeah, you're right," because I'd like to be right once in a while.
Did you take the peanut butter? Oh, are you still working on it? All right.
You got to swallow that and get that down in the throat.
I'm working on it.
Well, it doesn't do any good in your mouth.
Apparently.
Just swallow it one big lump. It'll get lodged in there, and it'll stop everything from moving.
And I'll stop breathing.
Well, that's a side effect.
What else do Yeah, but the hiccups are gone.
I can't.
This is where you flash the warning at the bottom of the screen. May cause. So we're doing the Time Monster for Friday Night Who on 12/21 in December. And then our show that week is an Adversary Archive on the Master, our second one, dealing with Time Monster. And it made it worse, dude. What else have you got that's sticky? Syrup. Go drink syrup.
I don't have syrup.
You don't have any syrup?
No.
You're a waffle kid, aren't you?
Cairo syrup?
I'm a honey kid.
Oh, well, go get some
honey.
I don't have any honey either.
I'm a honey kid. Go get some honey.
I'm a honey kid without honey because I haven't eaten waffles and I don't know how long.
So we've got peanut butter, honey, and waffles.
we got to finish this up quick then.
Can Glenn talk about regurgitating now?
Oh!
Full circle. So we're doing the this is lackluster now. The Master 2, and then
We've lost everybody at this point.
our Christmas comes late. We're going to do the Christmas Invasion on the 28th. I'm going to read the rest of this like Stephen Wright. That one stars David Tennant as the Doctor, and then we get the new special effects extravaganza from Stephen Moffat, The Snowman, which will be actually aired on Christmas Day, which was confirmed on BBC America. But we're going to talk about it in episode 105.
How about some exciting news? Late breaking news. Nicola Bryant confirms that she will be at Chicago TARDIS next year.
Oh,
hopefully
right.
with Sub on Hex, she hopes.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll get Colin next year. That'd be awesome.
She tweeted that.
Just now?
Not too long ago.
All right. Terrific.
That's impressive. When you can end a convention, because it ended the day, and now we're talking 6 hours later. They've got their first guest.
She probably has been set up before. She just couldn't say anything until this one was
That's
over.
awesome.
She tweeted it 2 minutes ago.
2 minutes.
Wow, that's late breaking.
Late breaking.
You heard it here, probably not.
You heard it here tomorrow.
If Glenn gets this stuff done. So that's what's coming up next on the Vortex.
Now, Keith,
schedule.
We have a bit of
feedback
extra here.
A little bit of extra and true Traveling the Vortex
Something special that
style.
Dr. Phil put together for us, particularly.
About Back to the Future.
Which is very fitting for this show because, A, we're very tangential. Is that a word? Tangential?
It is.
Just authorize it.
Tangential. And
somebody else coined the friend tangential. So
all right, tangential.
Tangential sounds like a medical condition.
Hey, keep talking.
I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Bartlett. You've got tangential. I'm afraid there's no cure. You might try peanut butter.
We've proved that after 100 episodes that there's no cure for tangential.
Hey, we tried at least the first 10 weeks.
Not to mention, at least Sean and I for sure champion the show, the trilogy, Back to the Future.
Hey!
So fittingly,
I do too.
Well, I'm sure you have some complaint because it's a time travel movie.
And it's only set 30 years in the future.
I only complain about poor time travel movies. Back to the Future is not a poor time travel movie.
He can't get through it. He can't get through one sentence without a hiccup. This is great. All right. Anyway, so
Keith, repeat after me. It is fiction.
It is fiction, and time travel should make sense.
it's a Robert Zemeckis film.
Well, that's where it starts to lose credit.
No! Oh, them's fighting words, boy.
Wow. This might
Have you seen
fisticuffs.
Have you seen Polar Express?
Yes.
That's a great film.
Based off the book? No,
I said
it's not.
Great. I said great film.
No, not based off the book.
Enjoyable and great.
No.
Time Machine,
Yeah, enjoyable and good.
not the book.
Well, maybe not.
Yeah.
Well, but
All right,
to be fair, I like
I'm going
Beowulf.
to punch you in your diaphragm.
To be fair, I like Beowulf.
to be fair.
To be fair to Zemeckis.
Okay, let's do the list. All right, are you ready? We got Back to the Future, 1, 2, and 3. Perfect trilogy.
No.
By the way, yes.
No.
Yes.
I agree. I agree.
Trilogy. No. And how many directors out there who have done trilogies, full-blown trilogies now, did all three of them perfect? How many?
2.
None, because not even Robert Zemeckis.
Who's the other one?
So far.
Some could say Peter Jackson.
Okay, I'll give you.
I will give you that.
I'll give you Peter.
There's
Jackson.
one.
Oh,
there's
far.
one.
I dig
One
back
so
to the
far.
future. I dig back
Just
to the
one.
future before Lord of the Rings.
One.
Granted, it doesn't have 20 million
Perfect
endings.
One.
Perfect
No.
movie.
One.
Perfect movie.
No, one.
Lord of the Rings isn't perfect. It's got 20 million endings,
Oh, that's right. He's got a point there.
and it's 3 movies about walking.
All right, Phil is on deck next.
You're doing that whole.
Phil is on
But
deck.
it's true.
Phil is on deck next.
You're
with
tangential.
some special with a special side trip that we're going to include in this show. So we're going to leave it on that. If Keith can get one out,
I poke him with a
that's
stick.
going to do it this week. Until next week,
God,
I'm Glenn.
He's been over in pain. I feel bad laughing at him.
hurts.
You're Sean.
Did you talk about the Dr. Phil thing?
Yes. Till next week, I'm Glenn.
Thank you for sending that, Dr. Phil. It's awesome. We're going to play it now, and it's very much in fitting with us because it is a perfect trilogy, and I'm very excited to hear what you have to say about it. I'm Sean.
I'm Keith.
Cheers.
Trying to time this right. Good night, everyone.
Be seeing you.
I thought he had one.
Have we started the show yet?
You have been listening to Traveling the Vortex. Doctor Who and all of its associated programs are owned and trademarked by the BBC. No infringement is intended or implied.
What now?
Communication from Watchtower Command, Mistress.
Sector 7 alert. Unauthorized capsule entry imminent. Repeat, unauthorized capsule entry imminent. Stand to on Sector 7.
Dr. Phil here, Traveling the Vortex, arriving at episode 100 with a side trip into the world that is as much beloved at Traveling the Vortex as is Doctor Who itself, and that is of Robert Zemeckis' film series Back to the Future, colorfully brought to life by composer Alan Silvestri. Here, in an Adventures in Time, Space, and Music fashion, we will sample the musical worlds of Back to the Future, exploring Silvestri's work in film, television, and beyond. As with many director-composer collaborations such as John Williams and Steven Spielberg, American composer Alan Silvestri's work has been synonymous with the films of director Robert Zemeckis. These include many collaborations well beyond the Back to the Future trilogy, including, but not limited to, 1984 film Romancing the Stone, 1992's Death Becomes Her, Forrest Gump of 1994, 1997's Contact, Castaway from 2000, 2004's The Polar Express, 2007's Beowulf, and 2009's Christmas Carol, and oh yes, not to forget Flight of 2012. Beyond his partnership with Robert Zemeckis, Silvestri has scored many genre films including Flight of the Navigator, Predator and Predator 2, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, The Abyss, Death Becomes Her, The Mummy Returns, Van Helsing, A Night at the Museum films, as well as Captain America and finally The Avengers. And of course, that is only a small sampling of his work, but Alan Silvestri has been rather prolific since Marty McFly drove the DeLorean through time. Regarding Silvestri's early work, such as Back to the Future, the only film in the trilogy whose score earned him a Grammy nomination, he has had a very limited amount of experience at this point in his career in front of a 100-piece orchestra. But with Zemeckis' encouragement to make the score very large, sweeping, and epic, they both alleviated the misgivings producer Steven Spielberg had regarding using Silvestri as a composer for Back to the Future. When half of the score had reached completion, Zemeckis switched Silvestri's tracks for several temp cues, leaving Spielberg praising what he thought were new temp cues. Due to several of the production's problems, mostly regarding the miscasting of Marty McFly when Michael J. Fox was originally unavailable, this ended up being a godsend for Alan Silvestri as he had time to score the film twice. While this sounds like a monumental task, considering the sheer amount of music in contemporary films today, Silvestri's score was only 45 minutes long, thanks to the inclusion of many popular songs from both the 1985 and 1955 sequences in the film. The first symphonic cue heard in Back to the Future does not even appear until 19 minutes into the finished film. This second version of the score was much more lighthearted in tone than the original, filled with a great deal less dissonance than the original sessions, creating the familiar sense of fantasy, suspense, adventure, and humor that viewers associate with Back to the Future to this day, among Silvestri's most instantly recognizable scores. Using a full string section, orchestral piano, and standard complement of winds, 2 oboes, 2 flutes, 2 clarinets, 2 bassoons, plus auxiliary winds and percussion, the brass section is where this score particularly excels. Beyond the typical 4 horns, 3 trumpet, trombones, and a tuba, Back to the Future utilizes 5 horns, 6 trumpets, a half dozen trombones, 2 tubas, and baritones. After the initial sessions, the final scoring sessions for Back to the Future took place between June 5th through the 11th, 1985. It appears to be common knowledge that Silvestri suggested Huey Lewis and the News create the theme song for Back to the Future. Their first attempt was rejected by Universal before they recorded The Power of Love. The studio loved the final song but was disappointed it did not feature the film's title, so they had to send memos to radio stations to always mention its association with Back to the Future. In the end, the track Back in Time was featured in the film, playing during the scene where Marty McFly wakes up after his return to 1985, and also during the end credits. In Back to the Future, it's widely known that Michael J. Fox is actually playing the guitar. Music supervisor Bones Howe hired Hollywood guitar coach and musician Paul Hansen to teach Michael J. Fox to simulate playing all the parts so it would look realistic, including playing behind his head, which, among many films that demonstrate people playing musical instruments, it's actually one of the better examples, believe it or not. The original 1985 soundtrack album to Back to the Future only included 2 tracks culled from Silvestri's compositions for the film, both Huey Lewis tracks, the songs played in the film by Marvin Berry and the Starlighters, 1 vintage 1950s song in the movie, and 2 pop songs that are only very briefly heard in the background of the film. On November 24, 2009, an authorized limited edition 2-CD set of the entire score was released by Entrada Records. The first disc contains the complete orchestral score as recorded for the finished film, along with 2 source cues that Silvestri wrote. The second disc consists of alternate approaches that Silvestri took with the large portion of the score with a darker, more serious tone. None of the songs from the first album are included in the score-only album, and for moments in the film where Silvestri's score was shortened, i.e. the final moments of Einstein Disintegrated, the Peabody Barn, Marty Ditches the DeLorean, or replaced with source music, Town Square. The full score cue is presented as originally recorded. The set was a limited edition of 10,000 units and sold nearly 6,000 by the end of January 2010. As of November 2012, the set is still available from Entrada Records. Among the most memorable cues in the entire film is the clock tower sequence at the end, which includes many of the primary and secondary themes used throughout the film. While this is an action climax, it is not the emotional payoff that occurs until Doc returns when Marty McFly believes him to be dead at the end of the film. Robert Zemeckis and Alan Silvestri are an excellent pair, bringing to life one of the most memorable time travel films of the 1980s, filled with fun and gravitas, action and heart, as well as a healthy amount of humor. Considering the success of Back to the Future, the majority of cues that were written for Back to the Future are mostly recycled and lengthened in Back to the Future 2 and later Back to the Future 3. But it is the first film that really creates the essence of what becomes one of the most memorable science fiction trilogies in film. And I hope you've enjoyed this journey through the original Back to the Future, and hope this is a fitting tribute to our good friends at Traveling the Vortex for their 100th episode. If you want to get in touch, just look me up on Facebook or Twitter, Adventures in Time, Space, and Music, and above all, keep listening.
You're alive. Bulletproof vest. How did you know? I never got a chance to tell you. All that talk about screwing up future events, the space-time continuum.
Well, I figured, what the hell?
Marty! You've got to come back with me!
Where?
Back to the future!
Wait a minute, what are you doing, Doc?
I need fuel! Go ahead, quick, get in the car!
No, Doc, I just got here, okay? Jennifer's here, we're gonna take the new truck for a spin.
Well, bring her along. This concerns her, too.
Wait a minute, Doc, what are you talking about? What happens to us in the future? Will we become assholes or something?
No, Marty. Both you and Jennifer turn out fine. It's your kids, Marty. Something has got to be done about your kids.
Hey, Doc, we better back up. We don't have enough road to get up to 88.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.